Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? I'm new to Impossible Coin. I'm newly available. I've never been here before. I'm Winnie the Pooh.
Can you say fuck?
I can say fuck. I couldn't say fuck before January 1st of this year, but I can say fuck now.
Mr. Pooh, it is my understanding that you also cannot say fuck as long as you are wearing a short, cropped red t-shirt. Can you just confirm for our non-visual audience that you are not indeed wearing that shirt?
I'm butt-ass naked. My dick is out.
Disgusting. Classic. Welcome aboard.
Anybody got questions for Winnie the Pooh? I did like 3 lines of coke before getting on today.
I can't believe that's legal. Is coke legal in the 100 Acre Wood?
I tell you what I do. I do a little bump of coke, and then I do a line of honey. Then I do a bump of coke, and I do another line of honey.
That seems really difficult, like snorting like a line of honey.
Have you ever done coke first, though?
I mean, I guess coke makes anything possible.
That's right. I'm Winnie the Pooh. I'm just here with my friend Sherlock Holmes.
Not even Sherlock Holmes? Straight up
No.
Sherlock Holmes?
Straight up Sherlock Holmes.
That's right. Does anybody got questions for Winnie the Pooh?
No, I'm just happy you're happy, man.
Yeah, man. Enjoy your new life, I guess.
All right, then. I'm going to go play Fortnite.
Fuck it up.
Enjoy.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Impossible Coin. I'm Brian Cardam, not Winnie the Pooh. I'm joined by Tegan Somerset, who is also not Winnie the Pooh.
Also not Winnie the Pooh. Did recently read a fanfiction where Winnie the Pooh was a manifestation of Sherlock Holmes' inner sleuthing abilities, though. It was very good.
Nice.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna...
No, it's okay. We can move on from that. It's fine.
No.
I'll send you the link later.
I have a relevant thing, but before I say the relevant thing, I need to introduce also not Winnie the Pooh, Rocky Hardy.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, it's me. What's up?
When I was...
A young boy?
When I was 19, and I was in, like, my peak wasted youth period.
Did your father take you into the city? See the marching band?
We're so funny. We're so funny.
That song is not in Winnie the Pooh status, Rocky.
I mean, I guess. Yeah, it got me there.
Yeah. We're hopefully going to have fucking hover cars by the time it's in Winnie the Pooh status. So, when I was 19, I was attending a stupid community college, and I was taking a stupid philosophy class because that's what people who go to stupid community college do. So I was taking this stupid philosophy class. When you think about like community college philosophy class, specifically about like at the 100 level about like Eastern philosophy, it's exactly everything that you think, right?
Okay.
There was some project that I was supposed to do about Taoism and so forth. And like I had done like zero work to prepare for this project that was like literally due the next day. And what I did was I sat down and I wrote a super fucking short story where like Winnie the Pooh was Sherlock Holmes and he was like moving throughout the 100 Acre Wood and he was like eventually settling on the idea that like solving the mystery was unimportant.
Mm-hmm.
So like Sherlock Pooh is like, I don't even give a shit about this mystery. Hooray! And my stupid fucking community college teacher gave me an A+ on this like dog shit short story, which was obviously a hussy and a dodge to escape doing the actual work. Mm-hmm. She's like, this is the best project anybody turned in. Had me come up in front of the fucking class and read the dumb short story to the class. She's like,
Galaxy brain moves.
Yeah, she's like, see, he gets it. And I'm like, I literally wrote this thing in like an hour and a half because I had done none of the work for like several weeks and just like fucked off. And, you know, Jesus. You know, like whatever shitheads do in 1998, that's what I was doing instead of like the work for this class. And then I just fucked off. I was like, yeah, Winnie the Pooh, Sherlock Holmes is going to solve Taoism That's what he'll do. Never mind.
Tale as old as time.
Yeah. Oh, and so to everybody out there who has like completely swerved a school assignment by coming up with like bullshit instead, I salute you. Have either of you ever done that?
I mean, yeah.
Not to that extent, no. Most of the stuff that I swerved doing bullshit was like, I'm not gonna read this stuff because I feel like I already know enough about the topic that I don't actually have to do the reading and do the paper. And then the paper, like, did fine. So that's the most I did.
Okay. Rocky, would you say that you ever successfully Zach Morris'd it?
I mean, yeah. It's not hard, right? That's like the entire point.
Is it easy to be Zach Morris?
I don't know who Zach Morris is.
He's the protagonist of Saved by the Bell.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, I think that's the point. Like, the thing is that it's not difficult to be Zach Morris. It's just you have to choose to do it and accept those risks.
I guess there's that, because if it goes sideways, you're super fucked.
Yeah, exactly. But, actually doing the Zach Morris thing isn't really that difficult.
Right, You just have to convince, Screech to dress up like a ninja or something.
Or something, yeah.
Yeah. But it's always just some dog shit. That is one thing I did wonder about Zach Morris, though, is that, it seemed like most of his stuff was either A, just lying, being like, oh, yeah, there's a talent scout in town who's putting together a bikini calendar, and then, lies cause things to happen, or involves, getting Screech to dress up like a shithead. So I have to wonder, who had the costume budget? Was it Screech or Zach?
Well, I mean, assuming that Saved by the Bell happened in reality, which I personally don't believe, it would have needed to be Screech. But I'm pretty sure Saved by the Bell, in its entirety, took place in, the imagination of Zach Morris while he's either dreaming or in a coma. But, whatever.
That's big brain shit right there. I like that.
I've never seen Saved by the Bell, and you're not making a compelling argument for me to watch it. So, honestly, I feel like I dodged a huge cultural bullet. So, thank you, I guess.
I think the weirdest part for me about Saved by the Bell is that, I'm the right age to have, grown up with the characters.
Uh-huh.
Right.
When they were, little shitheads in, 7th or 8th grade, Miss Bliss's class. Hey, we're in 7th or 8th grade, and we're in Miss Bliss's class. That's how old I was. When they were in high school, I was in high school. And you literally got to watch, these fuckers get older, because that's how puberty works,
True.
Right.
And it just, it felt weird. And now with the modern convention of most of the time when people are making a show about high schoolers, they're okay, we're making a show about high school. Who's about 30? That's how they cast these things now.
Yeah.
You don't really get that experience anymore. So I guess shout outs to Saved by the Bell.
Oh, yeah. But I do want to toss this in there. Fuck How I Met Your Mother. Dead ass. I watched How I Met Your Mother as a teen, and it looked like these wacky 30-somethings living a crazy life in New York City. But now whenever I try to watch the show, it's just this horrific cringe bullshit, and I think it's because now I'm an adult.
Yeah, I have got so many theories about that, Rocky. I'm right there with you. Obviously not the I was a teenager part.
Sure.
But the thing that I think for me doesn't work about the show is that it wants to try and write the kind of jokes that need to lean back and have space around the jokes to land.
Right.
On Community, picture Abed talking about Special Drink,
Mm-hmm.
and then Winger says and one day you shall know it by its true name, diabetes,
Yeah.
But then put laugh track after Winger saying that,
Yeah.
That's part of the problem with How I Met Your Mother is that the show wants to tell the kind of jokes that you need to lean back and just let the silence of the soundtrack let the joke land.
Right.
If Brutus says I can excuse racism, and then there was a laugh track after that, how terrible would that be?
Jesus Christ.
Exactly. You're just picturing it. It's oh no. And so I think that's part of the problem is that they were writing one kind of show, but they had a laugh track, which also meant that like all of the line delivery had to be like super fast.
Right.
You know, so you have like, what was the name of that giant fucking Frankenstein looking guy who was like one of the leads on the show? Like,
oh shit, Jason Segel. Yeah,
right. And like you've got that fucking huge guy, and he's just like everybody's just like going super fast because they need to leave room for the laugh track. So everybody's talking like they just did fucking lines of Coke and Honey. You know, like it's nuts.
I can't wait for the live-action, non-Disney adaptation of Winnie the Pooh starring Jason Segel. That sounds amazing, actually.
Is that Seagal?
God.
Is it Segel?
No,
I think it's Seagal.
No, there's no A. It's E.
Is
There's
there?
2 E's.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure there's an A.
I don't know anything about people, and
No.
I also don't know anything about How I Met Your Mother. So, again, another cultural bullet I feel like I dodged.
For sure. Jason Segel's 2 E's. You guys might be both thinking of Steven Seagal, but that's
maybe.
fine.
Star of the hit film Under Siege.
Yeah, sure. Let's pick Under Siege out of all those things. Sure.
No. Like Under Siege. Under Siege is a frustrating film because Under Siege is not bad. That is. No, I'm about to make that make sense.
Okay, sure, man. Let's go.
Okay, so like Under Siege is like well executed, taught, written well. Like it's one of those movies that came out after Die Hard, where people were like, "Oh fuck, we can make more of these." Under Siege was Die Hard on a boat, and it's written by the same guy who wrote Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
And so like that's why like the writing is just like absolutely fucking whip smart. And up until fucking Under Siege, Steven Seagal was just some douchebag making B movies, right? And then Under Siege comes out and it's a giant fucking hit, and it makes like Steven Seagal like an A-list player, and it makes Tommy Lee Jones land on the A-list because Tommy Lee Jones is the heavy in Under Siege. And all of a sudden, everybody who was involved with Under Siege was on the A-list. Now, whether they stayed there was like, that was up to Jesus. Like, fucking Erica Aliniak, the woman who burst out of the birthday cake in Under Siege, was on the A-list for like a good 18 months before people were like, oh, this was a bad idea. But like, we would have been spared a decade plus of people trying to make like $50-60 million movies with Steven Seagal if like that movie had bombed. If that movie had sucked and no one liked it, we would have been spared the Glimmer Man. You know, like, oh God. But no, like, Under Siege is good, and for that we had to pay the price of over a decade of people trying to make Steven Seagal happen.
Okay, I gotta take a step back here, because once again, everyone, we're not a Steven Seagal podcast, right? We're a podcast about video games, and so maybe we should take a moment, just remember where we came from, talk a little bit about video games.
Look, man, now that we're here every other week, we're letting it dangle more.
Oh my God.
Aren't we letting it dangle more? That's a point of procedure.
I mean, we can let it dangle more, but we are also primarily a podcast about video games, and we haven't mentioned a single video game in 20 minutes.
Not one. In 20 minutes? Come
Wait,
on.
we didn't?
200
No!
years. We haven't talked about a single video game.
Really?
Yeah, really! We've been talking about television! That's not what our podcast is about.
Also Winnie the Pooh.
Also Winnie the Pooh, who is also not a video game.
Mm-mm.
It has been sometimes, though, right? Like, aren't there Winnie the Pooh video games? I gotta check this out.
Okay, Tegan, what's going on with Hatsune Miku?
I love her so much.
Okay, cool.
Hatsune Miku's my daughter. For people who don't know, not really, obviously, Hatsune Miku is a virtual singer avatar for a voice bank called a Vocaloid. For people who I'm not saying you guys don't know, I'm just saying there are people who don't know who Hatsune Miku
That's cool.
is.
I have literally not said a word. Please continue.
I know. I'm just trying to make sure the audience knows that I'm not insulting their intelligence if they already know about Hatsune Miku.
Fair enough.
Because I have felt like that before in an audience. So that's who or what Hatsune Miku is. Using the Vocaloid software, a bunch of different producers, quote unquote, create songs that then Hatsune Miku sings, and these are uploaded online, primarily to Nico Nico, which is Japan's version of YouTube, but also some of them get cross-posted onto YouTube. And then she's become like a huge star. She does virtual concerts, she has merch lines. Krypton Future Media, who publish the Vocaloid software, are now the primary sponsors for the Sapporo Snow Festival, where Krypton Future Media is headquartered. All this stuff. Anyway, last year, Hatsune Miku got their first mobile idol game. And I say this specifically because Hatsune Miku has had rhythm games in the past in the form of the Project Diva series, but has not had a traditional mobile port game, essentially. And what came out of it is called Project Sekai in Japanese, but it's recently gotten an English release, and the English release name is Hatsune Miku Colorful Palette. Even though they say colorful stage in the login screen, it's fine, it doesn't matter. Anyway, tap game. I, on this show, have tried to play a couple tap games. I did the Love Live game for like a very little bit at the very beginning of the show, and I didn't do well. And then I tried Bang Dream Girls Band Project.
Okay.
Which is the same kind of like idol tap game. And I say idol, I mean IDOL, not IDLE, like pop stars. Anyway, didn't do well with the Bang Dream game either, but I have jumped feet first into Colorful Palette, and I'm doing honestly very well for me.
All right.
I've played a little bit almost every day since the game released like 4 weeks ago, something like that. And I'm at the point in the game where I can comfortably attempt a song on the hard difficulty.
Ooh.
Which is new for me, because before I was struggling with easy and normal. So, like, I feel good about it.
It's that new keyboard.
Huh?
It's that new keyboard.
It's not the new keyboard. I'm doing it all on my phone.
Well, I mean, okay.
All phone. No keyboard. Just smacking on my Pixel screen. It's okay, though. I'm doing well. Every couple days, like every other day or every third day, they drop a new song from a different producer. So, like, we've got songs from, like, Deco 27 and, like, Enoshima and, like, all of the, like, traditional, well-known, like, Hatsune Miku Vocaloid producers. A lot of, like, fan favorites are in there already, like The Disappearance of Hatsune Miku, Rolling Girl, and Just Be Friends. Like, a bunch of, like, good songs are in there. And almost all of the songs are sung with combination voices. So if you don't like the Vocaloid sound specifically, that's fine, because the actual characters in the game are also singing the Vocaloid songs. So all of the songs are broken up along the 4 different voice lines, and then also include like a snippet where the Vocaloid, who the song was written for, is singing the song. So it's neat. There's 5 bands, and they're all good, and I'm doing great. I'm doing so good. A pure event just finished, and the next event is going to feature happy style characters. So like all of the character cards are broken up into 4 groups: cool, mysterious, happy, pure, cute, and something. Maybe it's just 5. It might just be 5. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so like they just finished up like a school festival thing where like a bunch of characters from different bands who all go to the same school got to interact, and like the next event, which starts in like 2 days, I think, is going to feature all of the characters from the actual idol band in the game called More Jump. And their band is 3 idols who were giving up on being an idol and 1 girl who really fucking wants to be an idol. And it's so cute. I can't wait to meet them. They're so fun. All these characters are so cute.
I thought you'd already...
I have a question.
Yeah.
Nah, go ahead, Brian.
I'm just looking for a little clarification, since you said it's idol, I-D-O-L, not idol, I-D-L-E.
Yes.
But you also called it a tap game.
Yes.
So I kind of want to, like, I guess, understand how this game works mechanically. Is it a rhythm game?
It is a rhythm game, yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Like, I was trying to, like, I guess, peg where this game lives mechanically.
It is an IDOL rhythm game.
Okay.
The screen is positioned horizontally. All of the notes come down from, like, the far end of your screen, and then you have to tap them on the close end of your screen.
Okay. The reason I ask is that, like, with IDLE games, generally on phones, the way that they're played is also tapping, but there's no rhythm to the tapping. It's just like tap X many times to like make a resource or something.
It's not specifically a clicker game.
Right.
It is a rhythm game, but this style of rhythm game is called an idle game because the characters featured in them are primarily idols.
I wonder if anybody has made an idle game.
They have.
What is it? What's the idle game?
You guys can find it.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god!
Sure! That's fair. If you don't want to give them the time of day, that's understandable. But I'm looking forward to the next event also. Obviously, there's limited edition like cards for each event. After the event goes away, the cards go into the pool. The exception is if they're like a limited for someone's birthday, in which case they're only available on that character's birthday, and then they go away until the following year when they're again available on the birthday, or like as part of special like gacha stuff. You can pay, obviously, for, like, the polls, just like in every other fucking idle game that exists. But you don't have to. They give you, like, a decent amount of in-game currency, so it's not, like, the end of the world. I've been doing at least 2 polls for every event since the game started, and I still have, like, 8,000 crystals left, so it's fine, honestly. It doesn't seem, like, super predatory in that way, if that makes sense.
How predatory would you say it is?
At the beginning of the month, when, like, the monthly thing refreshes, it'll say, like, hey, the monthly thing refreshed, and you go, cool, and then you can close it and tell it never to tell you about it until it refreshes again.
Right.
But if you do, like, the monthly thing, it unlocks, like, a battle pass sort of thing, kind of like Genshin, and you can get, like, extra costumes in that, and, like, the costumes change every month depending on, like, what is going on. So, like, this month, they're Christmas they're like snowy costumes, so everyone's got like these little coats, you know, and like they're idol costumes, so they're like cute and frilly and stuff. And last month they were New Year's costumes that were available that were like modeled after like traditional Buddhist stuff and like fancy kimonos and that kind of thing. But yeah, that's it. The nice thing is they're running. Like, the Japanese game has been going on since October 2020, and this game just started for us in December. But what they're doing is they're running all of the Japanese events in order, so conveniently all of the English players get to look ahead to, like, see what's coming up and plan out stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we are going to get the first Christmas event in the middle of February.
Alright, cool.
What?
Let's go.
What?
Yeah, we're getting the first Christmas event in the middle of February. They got it in the middle of December when it came out, because their game released early October 2020, so they got 3 events in October with a Halloween event at the end of the month, 3 events in November, and then 3 events in December, and the Christmas event was in the middle of the month. And since we started at the beginning, like in the middle of December, like early December, we got our Halloween event over Christmas, and then we just had our sports festival event. And so then, like, the first event of February is going to be the Christmas event. Just based on when the things are falling. But it doesn't matter. No one seems to care. We're here for a good time.
Is that just, like, you know, the time to translate that they do, or?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just that they want to run the events in the same order, more or less, so that, like, the story beats line up the way that they're supposed to. Because, like, all of the characters, like, primarily divided between 2 different schools, like an all-girls academy and a fancy preparatory school.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, the characters have interactions at school, and then based on those interactions at school informs, like, how the other events go.
Okay.
So if they haven't had that school-based, like, interaction yet, having the, like, subsequent event doesn't make any sense.
Alright. In the sake of canon, I can get
Yeah,
that.
Exactly. So, like, we just had our sports festival event, which was for the all-girls school, and then we're going to do the More Jump event, which is called Time to Restart, where one of the girls is like, recommitting to being an idol, but like she doesn't feel like she's doing very well, and like and she has to find her passion for being an idol again. And then following that event, we're doing the preparatory school festival. So yay.
Okay, for sure.
I'm excited. They're cute. All these characters are cute, and one of the characters is canonically non-binary, so
Shout outs to them.
They are very cute.
Okay.
Also, it's full of Miku music, which is my favorite genre of music.
What's your top 5 Miku songs, Teagues?
Miku specific or Vocaloid in general?
You know what? We'll allow Vocaloid in general.
Okay, Vocaloid in general, it is Ghost Rule, Just Be Friends, Leia, the classic Servant of Evil series, and what's my number 5? I think right now, my number 5 is probably Anamanaguchi's Miku.
Okay.
It's just called Miku. It's
Yeah.
just called Miku. It's all in English. I think that's the only one on that list that's all in English, actually. It's good, though. Honorable mention to 10,000 Stars, though. I can't wait for that one to be added in the game. That one is also all in English.
Fair enough. 10,000 Stars. Honorable mention.
Very good. I heard that one first when I went to the live. I got tickets to Hatsune Miku when they did their like tour in like 2018 or something.
I think 18 sounds right.
No, earlier than that. I don't know. I just started dating Alex when I got the tickets, and we literally flew to New York, checked into the hotel, stood in line for 5 hours outside of the venue to get in. Right, so that we could get, like, good, like, it was standing room for the VIP section, so, like, we had to be right up there. Watched the show, went back to the hotel, slept, woke up, went to the airport, flew home.
Wild. Alright.
It was so good! I had a blast.
I'm looking at this. I'm looking at either 2018, which is, like, Hammerstein Ballroom, New York City Theater.
Nah.
And then I see a 2014, but...
Yeah, that might be it.
Okay.
That's probably it. It was good! It was so good! That's where I saw 10,000 Stars the first time, and I was just like, I have to, what is that song? I need it. Went home, like 2 days later, someone had uploaded a video from the actual, like, performance I was at, and so I just watched it online. I was like, it's still so good. The video quality sucks because it's on someone's cell phone, but it's still good. And now, Krypton Future Media is actually pretty good about uploading the concerts themselves. And the last 2 years, Miku has done completely virtual concerts with an all-new model. Well, I mean, like, they're completely virtual in that, like, nobody is actually there except for the band that is playing behind her. And they've been able to do a lot more cool stuff with the virtual concert because, like, literally she can do anything and go anywhere and they don't super have to, like, worry about it, you know? Because when she's performing in front of a live audience, they have to, like, they're basically projecting her 3D model onto a screen and she can only interact, like, within the space of the screen. But with the virtual live, what they do is they record all the band stuff and then they put the characters in afterwards. So the characters can, like, run around a lot more. They can play with the camera angles because of, like, they're angling, obviously, for the band, and they just have to make sure that, like, the model is in front of the camera once it's put there. So, like, she does a lot more, like, looking at the camera and, like, interacting with the audience in a more traditional, like, idol sense. And it's very good.
All right.
Like her. That's my daughter. I'm so proud of her.
Tig's gonna be, oh no, what is the name? What was the Dance Moms? Tig's gonna Dance Moms fucking Hatsune Miku and shit.
Oh, dude, when I was in Japan, I bought her first concert on DVD because I was like, oh, this is cool, and I'll be able to watch it. And this was back when, like, one, all your computers came with a CD drive, so you could watch DVDs on them. Mm-hmm. And two, like, before anyone was, like, really uploading her concerts, like, even Krypton Future Media wasn't doing it outside of Japan. And, like, for the last song, and I understand completely that this is, like, a programmed event, right? Hatsune Miku is programmed to behave a certain way on stage, Like, they're running a script, essentially. But at the very end of the show, she's like, it's time for the last show, or the last song, like, and I'm really happy that you were all here with me, and, like, she starts to sing it, and then she, like, cries a little bit. They made her, like, choke up and cry, and literally the whole audience is like, no, we love you, it's okay, and I'm doing the same thing, like, in my dorm room in Japan. I'm like, yeah, no, it's fine, don't cry!
They definitely know their audience.
They do! Oh, I love her so much. I live in a world knowing that I cannot start collecting her, like, figures, though, because there are so many I will just be broke.
Yeah, I get that.
One day.
Okay, well, Teeks, what's going on in Genshin?
What's going on in Genshin? So many things are going on in Genshin. Where do I even start? Number one, Enkonomiya has officially dropped. The land of what is it? Land of Storms and Fog. Mm-hmm. It is below Watatsumi Island. Watatsumi Island is part of Inazuma, so the implication is like the islands like rose up out of the depths at some point, and there was a civilization before Inazuma that all of this stuff is built on.
Wait, Teeks?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just realized, I don't know why today is the day that I realized this, but Economia definitely has like a naming convention that is similar to the various worlds that Andrew Hussey put those kids on in fucking Homestuck.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong about that.
And so
we're choosing not to look at it.
No, I'm sorry. This is the day that I'm looking at it, Teeks. I need you to do me a favor one of these days and translate all of those names into Japanese for me.
God. Okay. If you can send me a list without actually providing me any information about Homestuck, I will do that for you.
Easy. Okay, continue, please.
Okay. So Enkonomiya's big thing that is different from the other worlds is it is a series of islands floating in a dark abyss, essentially. Traversing the islands individually is a little bit more difficult, just like getting from one island to another, mostly because the only way to like you really do have to just like glide and hope for a lot of it, but like they're definitely like glidable distances. It just feels a lot further than it actually is. Like they do a very good job with perspective to make you like freak out a little bit that you're not going to make it.
Okay.
And for the places where it would actually be impossible for you to glide to, there's a little like portal that you can kind of go in and then it zaps you along, kind of like how some of the like electric obstacle courses in Inazuma work, which is nice. I've mostly been exploring it. There's only one like person there, and they're a scholar from Inazuma who's just like there to like quote unquote translate stuff and like help you kind of get around loosely.
Okay.
Other than that, it's like there's a rather sparsely compared to the overworld, a rather sparse like hilly trail population, and it's otherwise entirely populated by like ruin guards and like that whole series of like automatons, which is very cool. The thing with Enkonomiya is that you control the day-night cycle. Once you reach the center area for the first time and like activate the like internal sun for the area, you can control whether or not it's day or night. In the nighttime, shades of the people who used to be there, like shadow beings of the people who used to live in Enkonomiya, show up on occasion. And those shades you can interact with and like get quests from, even though they're just like basic like body models that have been colored blue with no discernible features on them. It's very interesting. And the way that they explain it is like these are the spirits of people whose willpower to help the quote-unquote chosen hero was strong enough that it allowed them to stay behind. They're only visible at nighttime, though. So sometimes you'll, like, go to an area, you'll be, like, messing around. You'll hit the thing that turns it to nighttime, and you'll turn around, and there's just a person there now. Hello!
Alright.
So it's a little bit of a jump scare sometimes, but not like in a bad way. It's just like, oh, you're here. Hi.
Yeah.
so far from what I've experienced, they aren't hostile or anything. I am down here specifically trying to get to the new weekly boss battle so that I can start fighting to get the materials to level up Shenhe, who is the new Cryo 5-star spear user, polearm user. She is a student of one of the Adeptal Beasts. Illuminated Beasts? Whatever they're called. And she is also Chung Yun's aunt.
Oh, yeah.
She's a member of the branch family for his demon exorcist clan or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he's like, wait, do I have to call her Auntie Shenhe? Like, is that what I gotta do? And she's just like, no, please do not.
That's pretty good.
I love them so much. I was just like, I'm gonna do 110 pull, I'm gonna see what happens. I got her, and I got Chung Yun in the same pull, so it's like, family! Ohana means family. Family means they come home together. But I love her so much. Let's see, they just did a potion event. I didn't like it. It was hard. Basically, you had to help, like, the alchemist in Timaeus. You had to help Timaeus, who's an alchemist in, what's it called? That other place. Mondstadt. He's, like, one of Albedo's students. You had to help him make a new potion, essentially. And the way that he does it is he goes with you to Liyue. You talk to that perfume lady.
Okay. Yeah,
from Zhongli's, like, quest line. Mm-hmm. And, they, like, flirt a little bit. It's very cute.
Cool.
And she ends up teaching Timaeus how to make, perfume so that he can, in, like, a traditional way, so that he can improve his potion-making ability for alchemy. Which is one of those things where it's like, oh, you don't think that the skill would have an application here, and it turns out it very obviously does.
Okay.
Which is neat. But then you had to use the potions in a domain. And when you use the potions, you couldn't use them again for, like, whatever level you were on. Like, and I don't mean, like, so there were 3 tiers of the event in the domain itself. Each tier had 4 levels in it. Mm-hmm. And if you used a potion in one of those levels, you then couldn't use it for the rest of that, like, tier of the event. They gave you a pool of 4 like, people to use in the event, and then you have your entire roster. So whoever you have available, you have available. If you for each character that you used, you then had to complete a second level in that tier of the event before you could use that character again. So I immediately screwed myself because I've only leveled. Early. I used Kuching early. I used Kuching and Chung Yun in the same event. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So I screwed myself essentially, and I struggled with the rest of that first tier of the event. I struggled with the rest of it for like 4 days. And then finally I like was complaining to one of my friends and they were like, hang on, who do you have? Send me a screenshot. And so I took a picture of my roster and they were like, wow, your roster sucks. You have a lot of great characters and you haven't leveled any of them. And I was like, yeah, I know, I like Kuching. They were like, okay, give me a second. And then 20 minutes later, they resurfaced from the abyss of their notes and went, I have everything. You use these characters next with these potions. Then, in round 2, use these characters with these potions. And then in round 3, use these characters and these potions. In round 2, select this part of the event. In round 3, select this part of the event. And I was like, okay. And I did the entire thing in like 6 minutes.
Good shit. Yeah, that's the tech. Let's go.
I'm stupid. Hi, I'm baby. I like Kuching. Kuching's my favorite. Can't do anything anymore. It's garbage. I've also been trying to fight. I went ahead and continued like the main plot line.
Okay.
So I could unlock Enkonomiya specifically. And so I was fighting to get. I have to fight like the Raiden Shogun. The first time I was trying to fight the Raiden Shogun, you're supposed to lose that fight. And I kept dying too early for it to count me as losing the fight, which was stupid. There's like a point in the fight you have to meet, and like at that point it's like, this is where you lose, and then the story moves on. And I died before that point in the fight. And it didn't count it. So I did that like 6 times. And now that I have to do my rematch with the Raiden Shogun, I'm still getting my ass handed to me. Because my team relies on essentially enhancing electro effects.
Right.
And so I have nothing to counter that. Because I don't want to counter, I want to encourage those effects, and instead I've screwed myself essentially.
I get that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to level up Shenhe, and I'm gonna try and get some other characters leveled up so that I can not use Kuching in the fight. We're working on it. We're working on the tech. It's hard. But that's like progress stuff. In outside Genshin news, MiHoYo has received it seems like a directive from the Chinese government to correct some of the character designs for Genshin Impact.
Okay.
Yeah. It's fine, honestly. Basically, they want some of the characters to... So far, it's only affected 4 of the female characters. And basically, they're trying to make them look less sexy. Right?
Okay.
The characters who are being affected by this change right now are Jean, the Dandelion Knight, who is the head of Mondstadt. Amber, Outrider Amber, who's a free character that you get at the beginning of the game.
Right.
Who also is from Mondstadt. Rosaria, actually all these characters are from Mondstadt. Rosaria, who works for the church in Mondstadt. And Mona Magistus, the water mage.
Well, I hope they never actually get to Liyue.
Oh? Are you worried about, anyone in particular?
You know what? What I'm saying is that it sounds like, based off that list, that they're trying to scratch off, like, sexy characters that you meet pretty early in the game. I'm really glad that they didn't notice Lisa. That, you know, heartens me a little bit. But, you know, if they ever get to Liyue, I think, I hope that what happened is that they decided, okay, we've slashed these out, we're done. Instead of, like, playing more of the game and meeting more of the characters. So I hope they give up, is what I'm saying. But yeah, maybe I am worried a little bit about certain characters in Liyue. Alright, Tegan? Is that what you wanted me to say?
Yeah, that's what I wanted you to say. Is it fucking Ganyu? Are you worried about Ganyu?
Nah, Ganyu's fine. I hope they don't get to Beidou. And while I'm not super invested in it, I hope they don't actually get to Ningguang either. Because I know a lot of people really dig her.
That's fair. The changes that they've made for these characters I've linked in the show doc. You can also see like comparison photos on Twitter. They're actually all very good. I'm not mad about any of them. They're great character redesigns as far as I'm concerned. Jean, they've adjusted her like color palette a little bit, skewed it a little bit more green than like straight like royal navy blue. They've given her her jacket and her chest piece like an overhaul, and she looks a lot more dignified. She looks like someone who means business, not like a girl who's been placed in a position of power temporarily. She looks like someone who should be in command of the knights, which I think is good. Amber's changes are also very much like not a big deal. Like they didn't make her shorts longer or turn her stockings into tights or anything like that. They're changing the design on her jacket a little bit. And it seems like raising the front of her like little corset shirt so that not as much cleavage is showing. That's it. So like you still get your good thigh gap and stuff. I don't know, whatever. Rosaria's gotten a pretty good redesign. Instead of looking like a sexy assassin nun, she looks like she looks closer to like the assassin nuns in Hitman that they were using in those advertisements, the like all leather like outfits. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm confused.
I think it's a better design overall. I think it makes her look more sinister, if that makes sense, which is how, like, they're trying to present her in the game, is, like, make it seem like she's gonna be an antagonist when really she's just, like, an enforcer, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
And Mona's outfit has been redesigned so that instead of essentially wearing a swimsuit with her ass hanging out the entire time, she's wearing, like, a little short dive skin outfit, and instead of having, like, high tights, she's got, like, tall stockings.
Okay.
I think they're all really good designs. I think they're all really solid designs. It feels more like this is the second pass at a character that, like, you know, you do your first sketch and you're like, yeah, this is what we're gonna go with, and then you do a second sketch and you're like, actually, this one's better. Western players, well, basically anyone who's not playing on the Chinese server, will get these character skins as a free update. You don't have to pay for them, nothing. You just get them as a bonus costume. Congratulations. So you can still use the traditional costume if that's what you want, or you can change them into this new costume. For Chinese players, since they have to remove the original character models entirely, they're getting 1,200 Primo Gems as an apology. So they're getting, like, a free 10 pull for a new character.
Okay.
As, like, a sorry, you can't use the original skin anymore.
Right. It's a free temple. That's not a bad deal.
Yeah, the free 10 pull isn't, like, a bad deal. It's also, like, a lot less than what, you know, people who play, like, gacha games have been saying for, like, the entire time that Genshin has been out, that, like, the amount of gems that they give as, like, apologies for stuff isn't comparable to, like, what, like, Love Live or Bang Dream or anything else, like, give out when they're doing, like, system maintenance or anything else. But also, like, the fact that the Western audience just gets, like, 4 new skins, have fun, you know, bye. I think that's fun. Like, we're not getting punished by these new rules for, like, China or whatever, so it's not a big deal. A lot of people are now, like, actually concerned that, the next characters that are going to be targeted are going to be, like, Venti and, Xingqiu, who are both, like, very pretty little boys,
right?
You know? And they're worried that, like, oh, like, the Chinese ideas of manliness are gonna be superimposed on them. And I'm like, one, Xingqiu's literally a child, so I don't think that's gonna affect him, because he is literally a child. And if so, I think they'll just make him look like how they do, like, the prince characters in, like, traditional Chinese dramas. So I think, if anything, he'll end up with longer hair. So I don't see that as a problem either.
Are we talking about, like, Nahobino longer hair? Or...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That could be cool.
It could be very cool. And I think it would still fit his character as, like, a small lordling boy just fine. And then with Venti, I think the way that they do it so that they don't have to change his character design at all is they just change his voice actor to a girl. Like, right. That would be it. Oh no, your idea of fragile masculinity can't affect me now because I am a female. And, like, oh well.
Alright.
So I think people are freaking out over nothing. Especially because they've basically said, like, hey, like, the Western audience can continue to use the original skins. It doesn't, you know, this isn't really, these laws aren't affecting their experience necessarily, but we do have to put them in the game for Chinese users, so. And you can't, like, cross-play on servers anyway. Like, you can't take an English character to a Chinese server. So.
Gotta imagine.
Imagine. The Chinese servers would just absolutely decimate every single, like, other server.
I mean, that's how it was for, like,
good.
For, like, what was it? Final Fantasy 11 for a very long time. Where, like, they pretty much every server could ultimately commingle, but, like, it usually led to a lot of, like, weird, like, nationalistic fighting. It's definitely a time. Wouldn't recommend, honestly.
That's fair. But yeah, that's what's going on in Genshin. I'm excited.
Still
no news on when, like, the new stuff is going to, the the next world or whatever. We were expecting the chasm to show up, or the chasm, or whatever the hell. It's an area in Liyue that like is marked on our maps, but we can't go there. Like the barriers in front of it.
Oh yeah.
We were expecting that to drop, not Enkonomiya initially. So this is a whole other thing. And now it's sort of like, oh, the reason that place hasn't dropped is because they're doing all this character redesign work to comply with like the Chinese government. So, I don't know if I like believe that narrative necessarily, but it's fine. The next event that's going to be happening in Genshin is the Lantern Rite is coming back. They're renaming it as like, it's like a Colorful Lights in Flight. That's what it's called. And that's where you'll be able to get the new Ningguang skin, the free one. Kuching skin is already out. I already bought it. It's beautiful. She's beautiful. I love her so much. I just like Kuching. She's so cute. I did it. I spent the money on it. I'm not even mad about it. She's so cute. Her hair has like, she's got little like lacy ribbon around her little like pigtail things. And at the bottom of her twin tails, there are like little pearls that have been set in her hair. I love it so much. She's so cute. And I'm gonna get the Ningguang skin because it's gonna be free, so I'm just gonna do the event and get it. No big deal.
For sure.
I'm not even worried about it. I hope Zhao comes back. I know like Zhao's in the banner poll right now, but like I hope he's featured in the Lantern Rite event.
I'm pretty sure they're building to that. That makes sense.
I hope so. I hope he gets to like come and hang out this time because last time he's like, "Oh, I've never been to the Lantern Rite Festival. Like it's a silly thing that mortals do." But at the end of the event, he did sit like outside of Liyue and watched all the lanterns go up, and I'd like him to actually come in and experience the event this time.
All right.
And then, and in the next, like, patch, we're gonna have, they've already told us that, like, Zhongli and Ganyu are gonna be the rerun banners, so. After that, the Mako, Ye Miko is gonna be in 2.5. That's our next patch. They did her, like, character announcement ahead of time already, so, like, the closer we get to the new announcement, the more, like, we'll get on her abilities, what weapon she uses, that sort of thing. We've gotten a lot of new Electro characters recently, comparatively to, like, everything else. Right now, the group with the least amount of characters, other than Dendro, is Hydro. And the Dendro, like, supposed release date has been pushed back according to leakers, like, has been pushed back a number of times. And the theory is because, like, most of the decent team comps rely on a Hydro character to, like, fully make use of the, like, reaction stuff. Like, Vaporize and Melt and stuff are just some of the most powerful reactions in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So we think the theory is that what they're trying to do is balance out Dendro so that you can easily, like, swap in a Dendro character for the Hydro character. So the thought is most of those reactions are going to be, like, support based.
Okay.
And they're just trying to figure out how to balance it without completely destroying everything else. But we'll see. I don't know shit about shit, so.
All right, Teagues, I've prepared myself. Hit us with the new Among Us tech. Tell us what's going on.
Among Us fun. I'm good at lying still. I've identified some new tells for when I am the imposter, and I'm working on eliminating them immediately. I played with, like, with Gata and Ren, Renegade Mercury, and, like, that crew, Otaku Bookworm, from Prince Raglan streams, like, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It was a good time. I haven't played with people that, like, I know in a long time, so, that was neat. The new stuff is all fun. Engineer is still fun. Scientist, I think, is, like, the weakest of the new groups. But that might just be because I haven't really seen anybody use it effectively. That makes sense?
What's Engineer and Scientist?
Engineer allows you to, jump into event.
What?
Engineers can go into vents.
Okay.
But there is a cooldown once you jump into a vent.
Sure.
So you can only do it sometimes. Scientists can, at any point, pull up the vitals for the entire crew. So they're your best bet at finding out if someone has just died. Because you don't have to go to vitals and, like, look for a body. They can just see the vitals anywhere.
Right.
And know that they need to be looking for a body. In addition to that, there is Shapeshifter.
Right.
Which is very fun. Still, I've gotten to be it now, and I think I've figured out the best way to use it, but I'm not positive yet. What I ended up doing was I just shapeshifted into not the person who was the most sus, but the person who was the best at being imposter in the group, so that then they just assumed that that person was the imposter.
I think I might trap June like that one of these days.
It's good, yeah. I think you could. I think the tech is there for sure.
Yeah.
But it's still a joy to play, honestly. I'm still having a lot of fun. I'm not playing as often as, like, obviously we were at the beginning of everything. But I think that they've managed to keep it fresh without making it, like, overwhelming, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I also, like, there's a new system. There are, like, these cubes. I think I talked about it last time I played, but there are these, like, cube things. You earn, like, a bean currency and then, like, an additional currency in the game as you play. The more you play, the more currency you earn, and then you can trade those for, like, additional hats and little pets that follow you around and that sort of thing. And that's fun. It's a nice way to, like, have people get more costumes without forcing them to pay for them, if that makes sense.
Okay.
You're having them invest, like, time instead of cash.
Sure.
So, yeah, it's fun. It's a good time. Good time. 10 out of 10. Still. And then I'm gonna... Yeah, it's fun. One day I'll be very good at Among Us. I don't know when that day is, though.
He's gonna be fucking terrifying at Among Us. Oh my god.
I'm gonna be so scary.
Okay, Brian, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
What the hell is that?
Really?
I was gonna say.
I'll make this decision. I'll make this decision for you guys. How's
Okay.
that? What's the answer to today's Wordle?
I can't talk right now.
Can't talk right now. I'm doing Wordle shit. I haven't done it yet today, but I know we've all been playing it. So.
All right, I'm gonna get this dog taken care of.
Okay, I haven't done it yet. Today's Wordle is 5 letters long.
It's always 5 letters long?
Sometimes it's 6.
No way. Are you serious?
The first one I did was 6 letters.
No, it wasn't.
I thought it was.
No, the format for Wordle is 5 letters.
Oh. Well, I already got 2 letters, so that's great for me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I did this one today. I got today's in 3, looks like.
I'm excited. I don't like this game. I like this game. I don't like this game.
What'd you do with Wordle?
I'm bad at spelling, and so what this game does is highlight that I'm terrible at spelling.
I get that. I don't know. I feel like I've been training to play games like this my entire life, so this is fine, I guess.
Okay, I mean, Rocky, you can be able to edit all that dog barking out?
Yeah, won't be hard.
Okay. All right. I don't know, Rocky, like, Wordle, it's a video game.
Is it a video game?
It is a video game.
Oh, for fuck's sake. How is it not a video game?
I don't know that I would consider it a video game specifically. I think it's more of an internet game. Like, it doesn't feel like it feels... It's definitely a game. I'm not arguing that it's not a game.
Sure.
It just doesn't feel like a video game. Like, I feel like this could exist. This could be like a newspaper thing, arguably.
Sure.
Like, if you could get a newspaper to give you immediate feedback, you know? It feels more akin to, like a crossword puzzle. If that makes sense.
I mean, if we're going to argue that the bar for video games is that that there's no way that the video game could be mechanically implemented using any other medium, then doesn't that mean that every visual novel is not a video game?
I guess my argument for it not being a video game is it doesn't feel to me like the way that the things that I associate as video games are video games. It feels like a crossword puzzle.
Do you mean like it feels less interactive than, say, like video games normally are?
Yeah, it feels more like a brain teaser than a video game.
Okay. I mean, I get that. I am personally uncomfortable making the distinction that video games are defined by, like, the technology that's used. But I do understand, like, the idea, like, the experience of playing a video game is usually a bit more reactive or responsive than what Wordle and other games like it are. Like, for example, it's like comparing like Wordle to, say, something more like Words with Friends. Words with Friends is very much a video game, even if it's still like a simulation of like a word game experience. But I think Wordle is much more like a simulation of like a word guessing game, and it's like proliferated using like electronic media. I don't know if it's I don't know how useful it is to like try to, like, I guess, sequester it from like video games as a whole, but I think I get what you're saying when you're saying it doesn't feel like as like it doesn't feel like what video games make people feel when you play them.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
I want to hear all of your Wordle strats.
Oh.
On my okay, so I'm looking at the Wordle right now. I have put in my first word, and I have 3 letters. One of them is in the right space.
Okay.
I always guess the same word as my first word.
Same.
Yeah.
What word do you use?
Rents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Stare.
Okay.
With stairs in like going upstairs, not staring at somebody.
Oh, STAIR. I see.
Right.
I use regal
Interesting.
as my first word. So I got today's Wordle, which will be null and void by the time this episode comes out.
Of course.
I've gotten RAL out of my letters.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yes.
And now I gotta think about it.
So like the reason I use rent specifically is because I've been raised playing fucking Scrabble and watching Wheel of Fortune. And Wheel of Fortune embedded in me at a very young age that some of the most common letters in the English language are often repeated in most words. So what I was trying to do when I was deciding what my first word would be in Wordle is trying to find something that uses RSTLNE as like simply as possible. So I ended up with rent. Okay. I still lament like the missing like L, but like everything else fits, so that's fine. But usually what I'll do is I'll use rent, and I usually get some kind of hit on those. In this Wordle, my R and my S got ticked. And then I tried to use the R or the S. I just need to put them in different places. And then use less commonly use vowels, because the E didn't get ticked, which means there are vowels that I'm not using. So like, did you know, and this is, I guess, a question for like, because I also tried to apply Wheel of Fortune logic, Rocky, but Wordle actually led me down a rabbit hole of actually looking up what are the most commonly used letters in the English language. Okay.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, I've got deep Wordle brain, and I found out that I is just as common as E.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And so, I have a rule that if my first word gets, my first word being stare, doesn't get at least 3 hits, right? And for those of you at home who have not yet Wordled, and like, I realize that this is an issue of like a Twitter bubble, where like I'm used to like, you know, waking up and like my Twitter feed is full of the grid in the morning. When you guess a correct letter and you guess it in the correct position, it'll highlight the letter in green.
Right.
When you guess a correct letter but you guess it in the wrong position, it'll highlight the letter in yellow. So if my first guess doesn't get at least 3 letters, and this is like regardless of green or yellow, like if I don't land at least 3 with stare, I have a different word that I always guess as my second word, which is the like batting cleanup on common letters, which is lunch. So it's stare lunch. Okay. Because lunch is also like descending order, commonly used letters, but has no overlap with the first. So between stare and lunch, I like get just about all of the most commonly used letters in the English language, except for E. But I cover the rest of the bases, and I've also covered most of the vowels. But if I don't have anything between like stare and lunch, like I start sweating. There was one the other day, where whenever there's a double letter word, I sweat. There was one the other day which was Abby, and oh god, like I came in under the wire. I got that one on the 6th. Like, oh Jesus. Tegan, I saw that you got Abby in 4.
I did.
How the fuck did you manage that?
I started with Regal, and I got the A. Let me see, actually. Let me go back to my Twitter and see what that one looked like, because I can probably recreate it via my brain. Do you remember what day that one was? Yesterday's I got in 3. I don't know how I did it.
Wait, hard mode doesn't seem hard. Okay, whatever. I'll leave that alone.
Hard mode is how I usually play.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't play it on hard mode. I just, when I see a letter in the right spot, I try to keep using it in the right spot, if that makes sense. Because it limits the, like, pool of words I can actively choose from. Abby must have been after I got Shinha. Let me look. There's one that I got in 4. Yeah, there's 2 in a row that I got in 3. The one on the 14th and the one on the 15th. I got both of those in 3. The one on the 14th, I got 2 words in my first one, or 2 letters in my first one, 2 letters in my second one, and then I was just looking at this, I was like, what 5-letter words have all of these letters in them? Oh! And then I was like, oh, this one. Done. It was the only word I could think of. And if I didn't know what it was, at that point, I would have just cried. You know? I would have been like, this is an error with me not knowing how to spell the word that I'm thinking of. You know?
I kind of got mad because I think I would have had Abby in 4, but I guessed the wrong double letter word. Like I got the A and the E and the Y, and then on my third guess, I did alley with 2 L's.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that's not it. And like, well, I guess it has to be something else. I'm like, well, let's just try Abby. And then it went through, and I'm like, okay, sick.
I think it was just a blind guess. I don't think I had a B in that thing. I'm looking at it. I'm like, I got the A. I got the E, and then I got the A, it looks like. And I just guessed. I have no idea. I don't know. It's a blind... It's a crapshoot most of the time for me, honestly. I don't know that many words. I can't spell very well. It's a nightmare scenario for me.
A couple of weeks ago, the word was quest, and that, like, nearly hard fucked me. Because, like, almost just as dangerous as double letters is uncommon letters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm sitting around going like, what is this mystery letter? You know, like, what the fuck? Man. It's really, there's so much I like about Wordle, and I think that one of the things that I really like about Wordle, is that, like, Wordle refuses to let you burn out on Wordle. You get, like, a Wordle a day, that's it. Like, Wordle will not let you just, like, sit there and, like, Wordle for hours. So, like, it's a very bite-sized experience. Like, when you're, you know, like, when you're fucking with it, like, you do the day's Wordle, which, like, I think, like, when Tegan, you were talking about, like, how it feels like a crossword, I think that that's the thing that is, like, most evocative of a crossword, which is the, like, that there is a hard and fast, you know, daily limited finish point. Like, because, like, it's not like when you do the New York Times crossword's like, all right, time to reset and mix up the words. Like, it's that limit, I think, is part of, like, what gives it such viability. I also like that since it is the same word for everyone, that even though it is very much like a single player experience, there's, like, a level of competitiveness to it. In that single player experience, like, when everyone's posting their Wordles for the day, there's this measure of, like, comparing yourself against everybody. Like, did I do better than so and so? Like, and as you get to know, like, everybody's, like, Wordle strategy, you could see, like how they got there. You could, like, now I know that Rocky's word is rinse. Like that's like I can kind of, like, piece together, like, how he threads the needle each day. Like, I like the idea of, like, single player experiences which are also communal experiences. Like, and I guess for me that makes sense because, like, I'm such a huge Hitman fan, and Hitman is a single player game, but despite being a single player game, has one of the most, like, vibrant communities out there. Like, Hitman is very much like a shared experience as well. So, like, you've got single player community driven experience, which doesn't let you burn out on it. I also like that the game is also, like, aggressively not monetized. Like, the guy who created Wordle, Jake Wardle, I love that. Jake Wardle is like, yeah, no, like, I'm not going to put ads on the page. I'm not going to charge anyone to play it. Like, and he's talked about making an app, but he's like, yeah, he's like, if I do make an app, like, all it's going to do is just, like, present Wordle as it currently exists as a thing that you can just go to on your phone. Like, it won't mean that the game is monetized. It'll just mean that it's, like, a button on your phone instead of having to go to a website. Like, I actually added the bookmark for Wordle to my homepage on my phone. So right now, like, Wordle feels like an app already. Like, I have a button that says Wordle and it has an icon and everything, which is essentially what he's offering, but, like, or he's planning on offering. But it's really wild to see, like, how many people have seen that there is this, like, aggressively demonetized thing, like this thing that refuses to be about money, which is, it's, like, incredibly popular shared experience. And people are like, oh yeah, you know, like, time to fucking, like, copy this and monetize it. Like, the amount of people who have already tried to, like, copy and monetize Wordle is just, like, nuts. Mm-hmm. There was one guy in particular who actually made an app on the iOS store that he named Wordle. He just fucking, like, named it Wordle. And it used, like, the same color scheme, like that same Pantone yellow and that same Pantone green. Used the same animations for, like, letter flipping, and, like, it in every possible way. It just looked like Wordle, only it was like ad driven and had like microtransactions for like getting new puzzles, and this guy was like, haha, like I've done it.
Solved the thing.
Yeah, like
money.
And the internet turned on this guy hard, and his app got taken down from the App Store for infringement. And like he was like sitting around like posting about like, here's how I will be able to continue to infringe. Talking about like, oh, okay, well, here's what I'm going to do with like AdWords purchases, and when people look for Wordle, you know, all they'll find is like my thing, even if I change the name. And like, I got into this guy's mentions because I was like, you're a piece of shit, dude. And after Apple took his ripoff off the store, ripoff is actually unfair. Ripoff is kinder than what it was. After like they took his shitty infringing clone down, and he made a post about how he was going to continue to infringe. I replied to his post. Riddler describes how he will next poison Gotham City's water supply while sitting in Arkham Asylum. And that, sure enough, like that like netted me a block from the Wordle stealing guy. And he like changed his bio to like canceled for creating a clone of Wordle. And it's like, dude, fuck off. Like there are games out there which are clearly mechanically derivative of other games. And nobody is going to like be upset at you if your game is just like simply mechanically derivative. In fact, like there are lots and lots of people out there who ask for games to be mechanically derivative. Like there was a period of many years where people were like, man, can someone just out there make a game about throwing like discs at each other that you have to return a la Windjammers? Can I just get like a disc game? And like nobody was angry when like games that like use like disc returning as a mechanic came out, because like people had been crying for like more Windjammers for so long. And after Threes was successful, like somebody came out with that game 2048. But like in these examples that I'm talking about, like Disc Jam or 2048, like people are replicating or copying mechanics. They're not necessarily like copying like aesthetics and name. Like, you know, Sega made a video game with a fucking blue hedgehog. They didn't go out and make a game with an Italian plumber, right? You know, like it's
right, or a Robot Man. I got
exactly. Like Jesus, and it's just like so galling to see that this guy doesn't understand the difference between what he did and like what he could have done. It's like there are any like you like it's like you could have made your 5-letter guessing game, sir, and you probably could have done quite well, but you just had to like piss in the face of God and just like make everyone angry, just like ha ha ha, it's called Wordle. I actually named it Wordle. Like I copied the simple animations it uses for letter reveals. I copied the color scheme. And then I sat around online and bragged about it.
You could have done it with 6 letters.
Yeah, exactly. And like he's all
fine.
Yep. I mean, he's all pissed off because he's like, I got close to 1 million downloads, and a lot of people bought the remove ads package, but now that's all dried up. And it's like, fuck off. Like, just
yeah, you're a fool. You're a fool and a buffoon. Also, I got it in 2 now.
Wait, you said you got it in 2?
I got it in 2.
Wow.
I've been sitting here staring at this thing going, what is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? And I was just like, maybe? Yes! Nice.
And I guess this is a thing that we can do, since today's Wordle will be stale. by the time this episode comes out. So, like, my path for today was, my first word is stare, as it always is, and stare had 3 hits in it. And I was excited about that because 2 of the hits were green hits, not even yellow hits. I was like, oh, I got 2 green hits. So that let me know, like, what it begins and ends with. And so I was like, all right, it's an A, but it's in the wrong position. And so my second guess was savor.
Oh, okay.
Right. And that got me excited because it was like, oh, okay. Now I know that there's an O. And like so between the first 2, I now knew exactly what position the A was in, because if the A is not in the middle position and the A is not in the second position, the only place that the A can be is in the 4th position, because I know for sure what the 1st and the 5th position are. And there's not a lot of words out there that have an O and an A immediately beside each other, which meant that I could reliably assume that the O is in the second position. So my next guess was sonar. Yeah.
Sonar's a good guess.
Right. And that let me know where O and A were, that locked it. So from sonar, like, there was really only one way to go.
I try to get the vowels out of the way first, typically. But, like, I did Regal. I got my R, A, and L. And then I was just like, great. And then I set my phone down for 20 minutes. And I thought about it, and I'm like, what words do I know that have an R, an A, and an L in them? And then I guess...
So do y'all got any, like, thoughts on, like, why this thing's absolutely just, like, taken off and become as popular as it has?
It's simple, it's shareable, and words are things people know.
Also FOMO. I started entirely because I was like, okay, half my timeline is fucking doing this. What the hell is it? And I did it once, and I was like, nice, okay, I'm never gonna do that again. And every time I fucking see it, I'm like, alright, what's the goddamn word I have to know? If someone would just simply text me what the word of the day is, I would not play the game anymore.
Really?
Yeah. If anyone wanted to just be like, DM me and say like, today's Wordle is this word, I wouldn't play anymore because I just want to know what the word is.
You're in it for the fucking spoilers?
Yeah. No, not really. I'm not in it for the spoilers. I just want to know what it is. If someone wanted to spoil Wordle for me, then I would be in it for the spoilers. But I am just in it to know what the answer is. It's like watching Five Nights at Freddy's lore. I just want to know. I don't give a shit about the game. I just want to know. Tell me why everyone is simping over Glamrock Freddy. I just have to know. Oh, that's it? Okay, good. I don't need to know anymore.
I'm
in it for the answer. I'm not in it for a spoiler, because I'm not going to tell anybody what it is. I just want to know what it is.
Man. I'm reeling.
What, that I have FOMO? You're reeling because I have FOMO?
No, not the FOMO, because like the thing is that like I feel like FOMO is like the experience of like playing it, like you.
I could play it, not come up with the word, and I'd have the same experience as if I didn't play it that day. Because
wow.
I still don't know what the word is.
Wow. There are days where I have not gotten the word, and like those have sucked. Because you generally can't. Like, I'll tell you what. Like, another thing which is like wild about Wordle is that like the world at large seems to be very good about like not talking about what the answer to a Wordle is on any given day, because like something I will do after I solve Wordle for the day, like once I have the answer for what the day is, I will search Twitter for that word, right? I'll be like, okay, today's word is X, and then I'll go look to see if anybody's like going like, haha, today's word is, quest. Like, and people are incredibly good about like not posting the solution to a puzzle while the puzzle is still active. Which is, I did not expect the world to have that much discipline. But apparently it does.
Well, the nice thing about today's word is there's a K-pop artist named Solar, so ha 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 ha. Good luck. If you look in the Solar tag, it's just K-pop.
Man.
If there was like a Wordle spoiler Twitter where like you have to like request, it was a blocked Twitter and you have to request to follow it, and you could just follow the spoiler Twitter, I would follow the spoiler Twitter just so I didn't have to play Wordle anymore. This game highlights all of the things I'm bad at. Spelling, remembering things. All of them. Terrible. Mostly spelling. I'm terrible at spelling.
It took me
so
like
bad at spelling.
12 seconds. Jesus Christ. I'm sending you something, Tegan.
You found it?
I think so.
Yay! Yes! I'm gonna follow the spelling Twitter!
Wait, is there a Wordle spoiler Twitter?
Apparently. Looks like.
That's what it looks like. I'll let you know if they let me follow.
Yeah, it is a protected Twitter account.
It's a protected account. There's only 26 followers right now. If I am allowed to follow it, I will confirm whether or not it is a spoiler Twitter. God, that's so exciting. Tune in next week where I unveil whether or not this Twitter is a spoiler Twitter.
You mean tune in 2 weeks?
Yeah, tune in next time. Tune in on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Would anyone like to know more about the Analog Pocket?
I do.
Sure.
Tell me about it. Is it still a miserable experience?
No. Like a lot of, I was able to address some of the underlying issues.
Which ones?
The two little teeth that like to bite the labels are things that can be sanded down.
Oh, excellent.
Yes. So they will no longer bite at your labels. Also, by putting a thicker key membrane under the front-facing buttons and D-pad, you'll get better key action off of them. So, that too. There was an idea that Joe Spiro asked on Twitter, which I think is worth considering, which is that he wondered if it was worth, or if the issues with the Pocket are a result of inconsistent like QA across like lots of the item. Like some of them are good, some of them are bad, and I certainly think that's a possibility. I think that there might also be like inconsistent parts availability during manufacturing. Like their factory says, like, we're out of the good key membranes.
And they're like, use the backup ones or whatever.
Right. I mean, we know like the global supply chain issues. It's like, Analog is not a company which is like terribly talkative about things that happen to them during their manufacturing process. Panic, in contrast, the company which is making the Playdate is like incredibly transparent about every step of the process. and they talked about how the CPU that they were planning on using for the Playdate, had become very, very hard to get during manufacturing, and how if they had continued to choose to use that particular CPU, it was going to delay delivery of Playdates into something like late Q1 2023.
Oof. Okay.
And so here's what we did: we changed CPUs, and so they found a different CPU which would still run the OS that they had designed, which was a comparable price, and they created test units with the new CPU, and it worked. And they're like, okay, so what we're doing is we're changing the CPU. And they told everybody, they walked everyone through the process. They're like, here's what happened, here's how supply chain issues affected us, here's how we responded to it, and here's how we tested it before we implemented the change to know that it would work. It has been a real pleasure to follow the manufacturing of Playdate, because of how transparent they have been at every step of the process.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, Panic just posted a couple of boxes. It was a box. It was 3 boxes of 125 Playdates, which had been shipped to Panic's headquarters, and they're like, "Hey, we just had our factory ship us a random sampling of units from the manufacturing line, so that way we can quality screen them to make sure everything's going well." And so there's 300 odd Playdates, and what Panic employees did was sit around testing the units to make sure everything was okay. And I'm very, very glad that there is a company which is launching a console product which is providing that level of insight into what that process looks like, because that's something which a major console developer will never provide, and it's something which a company which is having problems might be incentivized to try and hide looking at you in television. But a company which has its shit together and is solvent and already developed other products for years, people grown-ups who know what to do and have nothing to hide, could be incentivized to give that kind of transparency, and they have. And it's been really, really interesting, following the Playdate account to see how things are going. And I'm stoked, because we've now reached the part of the Playdate process where my Playdate might show up, any given day, because I was in the first group. So stay tuned.
Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited?
Playdate 10.
10.
Solid 10. Yeah.
Excited. Are you gonna post on TikTok when you get it? I'm surprised you haven't done a tour of your analog pocket on TikTok.
I should do some more. I had found a format for my TikToks which I had really kind of liked, which was these weird TikToks where I obviously take a position which anybody who knows me knows is not my actual position on something. Mm-hmm. I know I did a TikTok where I was talking about how all of the haters needed to stop hating in Television Amico, and Amico was the best. And I've even got this voice I use during my TikToks where, hey everybody, here's the Television Amico. Amico's the best. Mm-hmm. And I like to use lots of the stickers in TikTok. I found the dumbest fucking sticker, which is a guy with a shovel, and he's shoveling words like hater and yeah, and it's just and so I just positioned it's hater, disbelief, doubt, and he's just shoveling all these words. And so I took this dumb sticker of the guy with the shovel shoveling negative words. One of the words he shovels is negativity. And so I took the shovel guy, and I positioned him above my head, and I started doing my TikTok voice. And then I put the song Danger Zone behind me, and I'm Television Amico, he's the best. And so I guess it would feel weird doing a sincere TikTok at this point. because like my TikTok has been used for a very specific kind of goofiness. Like one of my TikToks, which has gotten the most traction, and like I just had like a bunch of randos leaving comments on, was like I did a TikTok like the day that like Scott Cawthon like blew up, really, like right before E3, and like I used the stupid like little like visual effect that turns you into a raccoon, and so like I'm a raccoon, and I put all the fucking Five Nights at Freddy's bullshits in front of me. And I was like, my favorite announcement from E3 today was from Scott Cawthon. And,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, and like people were like, well, you know, just because she's a Republican doesn't mean I can't love the games. And I just, you know, actually, this is a good segue. TikTok has led to an effective segue. There is an essay that was published this past week, which I absolutely hated. And I wanted to talk about it and get y'all's opinion on it. There was an essay in The Atlantic by Yair Rosenberg, and he was talking about critical writing and you know, like, and critics in general. And his position in this essay about critics are that critics are missing the point when they don't reflect public sentiment at large. And he's like, yeah, you know, critics don't seem to understand that nobody cares that J.K. Rowling is a transphobe. They just want to love Harry Potter. You know, like critics miss the point when they point out that like Hamilton is tone deaf and celebrates the failures of the early United States. Like they just want to enjoy Hamilton. And he does things in the essay like talk about how when he was the head film critic for the Harvard Crimson when he was an undergraduate at Harvard, that one of the things he did was like go to a screening for a children's movie where the studio had made sure that there would be children in the theater with the critics, so that way the critics could hear children's laughter which would temper and color their perspective.
You're telling me he specifically was like, I did the thing that the guy who wrote Peter Pan play did, where they put children in the audience specifically to affect the way the adults enjoyed the thing? Are you fucking kidding me?
Right, yeah.
Like it was some goddamn novel thing? Are you shitting all over me? What the hell?
And he's like, and he's just like, critics, just let people enjoy things. Just let people. And I'm like, that is not the job of a critic. Like,
do you know what a critic? Do you know the definition of the word critic?
Right, and the thing is that like the whole point of a critic is like their unique perspective, their identity, like the life and the choices and the perspective that they bring to a piece of art, you know, is supposed to inform the way that they write, talk, and interact with it. Like, I will never be on the same page with Tegan regarding what remains of Edith Finch. Yep. But I will always value that perspective and defend Tegan's need to say the things she did about it, because the things that Tegan says about what remains of Edith Finch are important because they are a reflection of her unique perspective. Like, she very much goes against like the conventional grain and the popular opinion on that game. Like the popular opinion on that game is like very high.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you know? No, and I'm not knocking anybody else's. Like I've seen lots of reviews, even on TikTok, where people are like, "I love this game; it's so good," and I'm like, "Good for you." Yep. Wasn't for me. Glad you like it though.
And so, like the idea that like what criticism should be is just some kind of like flowery reflection of popular public sentiment, just like absolutely rankles me, because it's not what criticism is for, and it's just
actually that's a really interesting idea. This guy is arguing that criticism is supposed to function as a form of advertising.
Yes!
It's supposed to tell you how to feel about a piece of art and whether or not you should engage with it.
Right.
Like, it's definitely fundamentally backwards, but it's a funny idea, and I think it's something that a lot of people wouldn't really fight against, which I guess is why it published in the Atlantic. But
yes. And the reason that I felt that it was particularly relevant to us, and the reason I wanted to bring it up on this show, which is ostensibly about video games, is that I feel like this shitty idea has existed in the world of video game criticism and the cultural response to video game criticism for years.
Oh yeah, maybe decades.
Yes.
I mean, that's why all of the like games on IGN or whatever have like a minimum of like a 6.
Well,
right?
was it the Oras review where it's just like 8 out of 10, too much water? And like,
yeah, exactly. 8 out of 10. Too much water.
Exactly. I mean, like, you'll read reviews on IGN, which are like, this game's a pile of shit, I dislike it, 7 out of 10, you know, like...
Right, exactly, it's like, what? Wait a minute.
And, like, I'm taken back to, I guess, like, 2012, when Aliens Colonial Marines came out, and it was, like, an absolute disaster, and one of the worst games people had seen, and just, like, you had shit like the xenomorphs just running into walls, just repeatedly, and just like getting caught on corners and then clipping through and falling into space and dying. And it was just, and people were just like, oh my God, like, what is going to happen with this fucking game? And I remember Penny Arcade ran a comic where like they showed like a reviewer saying to another reviewer, Frederick, bring me the forbidden numbers.
Yeah.
And like, and there's this idea that like, there's just like this shared, that like all video game criticism, all video game writing in general, writ large, needs to be, you know, like in advance of the release of an individual video game, is just a thing that like pumps your nads and gets you excited for the game. You're just like, oh yeah, man, I can't wait to fuck with this. And then once the game comes out, video game criticism's only job is to like affirm your excitement that existed before release.
Right.
And it's just like, and to see criticism in other kinds of media sliding toward that. Like, video game writing has been struggling to get away from that. Like, for years, you know, video game writers have been...
Ooh, wait, no. But, like, maybe that's why they're sliding to it, you know? Like, as far as, like, an industry, video games has definitely had a meteoric rise over the past, like, decade or so. And it may... I think it may be contributed to by that particular feedback loop. And so other industries would be interested in stealing that tech if it means that they can secure that kind of success.
Yeah, I could definitely... There was another thing I saw this week that made me think about how, like, other industries are rushing toward the things that we hate about the video game industry. And it was someone who suggested that what the Academy, the Academy, you know, the Motion Picture Academy of Arts and Sciences needed to do to restore public interest in the Oscars was that what should happen during the Oscars is that various studios should hold on to anticipated movie trailers until Oscar night, and then from the stage, the hosts of the Oscars would be like, and now the trailer for Black Panther, you know, like Wakanda Forever.
Oh, that's what E3 is.
Well, yeah.
World premiere. Well, I mean, think about what the Game Awards are. This thing,
exclusive.
Exclusive.
Oh my God, that was so fucking stupid.
And people have been, like, the part of the discourse in the last week is this conversation that what the Oscars needs to be is something that mirrors the Game Awards.
The Game Awards was bad. Don't mirror the Game Awards. Are you kidding? Oh my God, are people stupid?
Well, yeah, people are stupid. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm being stupid right now.
Are you playing League? Is that what's going on?
No, I'm not doing that. Jesus, that'd be awful. Oh my God. Jesus.
But yeah, I wanted to like get y'all's feelings on like the premise of this essay, and just like this move, you know, in critical discourse toward this idea of let people enjoy things. Like, like there's been so much talk about this like fucking stupid Harry Potter reunion special on HBO Max, and it really seems to be divided into two different camps. Like there's the people who are like, oh yay, Harry Potter reunion special, like butterbeer and chocolate frogs and hooray, and then people are like, Harry Potter is bad actually, and then going into reasons why, and the response is always, let people enjoy things. It's like, look, if you want to like Harry Potter, that is your choice to make. That is your feeling. Like, there are things I like which are bad. I know they are bad, you know, and that's on me. Like, if I sit down and I eat a whole fucking box of Taco Bell and I'm just like, pour this garbage in my face, like, that's me. Okay, that's my choice.
First of all, we got to stop slandering Taco Bell on this podcast, but also, I think the difference between you and those people, Brian, is that like you have made peace with the idea that even though this thing is bad and you're allowing that bad feeling to like process through you, well, there are definitely people who are like, I just want to like Harry Potter. Why are you trying to make me feel bad for liking Harry Potter? And it's because Harry Potter is being made by an actual supervillain who you've made a billionaire, and you should feel bad about it. But, you know, they don't want to, which is why they yell.
The thing is that, like, with any, like, this is what frustrates me, is that, like, there's a level of myopia to, like, any kind of, like, critical analysis now of, like, popular media, because popular media has, like, created these, like, silos for people where people are saying, like, I saw a take this week that was so bad I had to go to sleep. Where a person...
It seems like it'll take much, but go on.
I don't know what it is that you're saying there, Tegan, like whether you think I just sleep a lot or whether you just think that there's that many bad takes out there.
I think there are that many bad takes, but go on. I want to hear about the take so bad that you were like, actually, I'm going to nap this one off.
I saw this take which said Harry Potter was the first piece of writing which brought attention to poverty.
Yep.
I'm a get out. Right
yeah, we'll see you later, Teeks. That makes sense.
Is that the SpongeBob about to stand up?
I'm about to head out. Oh my god. No, but it's just like, I mean, I get that like Harry Potter is like the first book for a lot of people, and I'm not even just counting children, but like, holy shit. Like, come on. You've never heard of a poor person before Harry Potter? Like,
like you haven't, not even that you haven't heard of a poor person, but like you can't think of another British story that like literally stars a poor boy who's beaten. You can't think of one.
There's so many British poor. A Christmas Carol already had a Muppet adaptation.
Exactly.
Harry Potter came out. Like, come on.
It's like,
you can't tell me you've never fucking heard of Oliver Twist either. Like, for fuck's sake.
And I'm just like fucking sitting here thinking about how, like, in A Christmas Carol, right? Ebenezer Scrooge is just like, yeah, being poor will kill you, and fuck him, you know?
Yeah.
Right?
You know, he's doing shit saying, like, go ahead and die and reduce the excess population. Like that's an actual line in the fucking thing.
Yeah.
May I also present for, like, the benefit of, like, the community? Have you never seen Spider-Man? Like, Spider-Man's poor!
Spider-Man's crazy poor!
Marvel Cinematic Universe Spider-Man is not poor. Marvel Cinematic Universe Spider-Man is not poor.
Right.
Every other adaptation of Spider-Man is fucking poor as shit.
I really wish that they had taken time to, like, dunk on Tom Holland Spider-Man. It's like, wait, why do you have money? Why does Aunt May look like that? But whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, like, why does Aunt May look like that? Why do you have money? Like, the other two Spider-Man movies, Spider-Man was poor. Fucking Miles Morales, you meet Peter B. Parker. He's living in a shitty apartment with, like, broken windows. Are you kidding me? He's poor as fuck.
Oh my god.
But along comes fucking the Weasleys, right?
Yeah.
Here comes the Weasleys.
They're good people, but like...
The Weasleys are this, like, ridiculous cartoon caricature of poverty.
Yep.
I know.
where like the Weasleys never want for food. Like the Weasleys never go hungry. The Weasleys don't have job insecurity. The Weasleys always have fucking clothes on their back, and it's always like, ha ha, we're poor, so we have these sweaters which all have our initials on them. Isn't that like? Yeah, I think the best way to describe it is that J.K. Rowling makes poverty seem cozy and appealing. And for all of these people out here who are like, J.K. Rowling brought attention to poverty, I'm like, burn in hell. Like, I just, oh, God. And so
one salary income. Are you kidding?
Exactly. Jesus fucking Christ. He's Fred fucking Flintstone.
9 children on a 1 salary income.
Yes.
I guess what we've learned is that this person still doesn't have an idea about poverty. Like,
oh God. And so then, like, when I take that quote and I hold it beside this essay where he's just saying, like, just let people enjoy things, and I'm like, look, fuck, don't get me wrong here, but like people need to grapple with the media they consume. They if you just sit there and you like become some kind of fucking potato, then like it's bad for you and it's bad for the world. Like if you want to eat something, eat it. If you want to watch something, watch it. If you want to play something, play it. But fucking understand what you are processing, because if you don't, it's going to like weaponize you and make you worse.
I would like to present a light counter take.
Okay.
The just let people enjoy things is the first stage of actually acknowledging that the media you are consuming is bad. And it's the first thing that you have to go through to become a better media consumer.
Disagree. Hard disagree.
Okay.
Because if it were an inward facing statement, they're like if someone was like looking in the mirror, brushing their fucking teeth and going, you know what? I'm going to go out there and I'm just going to fucking watch like Keeping Up with the Kardashians because it's me time. That's what I want to do because I need to pour some girl. Like it's time to pour some 90 Day Fiance in my face. Mm-hmm. Then like if it's an inward looking statement, if it's a statement of introspection, I agree, Tegan. But if like somebody is saying to someone else, just let people enjoy things, and they're like silence fool, because if I hear your voice, it interrupts my internal monologue. And like my internal monologue says everything that I like is nice, everything that I like is good. Then you casting doubt on that makes it harder for my internal monologue to be true.
Okay. I'm going to admit this out loud on the internet on the podcast. Okay. I was a just let people enjoy things person.
Okay.
And I was that person while I was learning about the things that made the media I was enjoying bad. And that was part of my personal grappling process with like figuring out what it was I was willing, like more or less like what I was willing to like accept as part of the media consumed, and what like where the line was for me.
Right.
And so I think it's I do genuinely believe it's the first step in the growth of yourself as a media consumer, is like, I don't understand why people are talking about like all this bad stuff. Just let people enjoy things. And then you look into it a little bit more, ideally, because you are growing as a person, and you go, oh, now I understand these other people's perspective that maybe I wasn't privy to before. Oh, I see exactly how this is a bad thing. And I understand that, like, while I may now still enjoy parts of this media, I can no longer support the people who put it out. And so now I have to reassess my relationship with this media. And then you have to reassess from then, like, the things that this media changed about me, like, do I accept those things and keep them as part of myself, or do I allow myself to grow from this and move on?
Yeah.
And so that's why I think just let people enjoy this is the first step in like that process.
And I guess I would say to that, Tegan, it sounds like for you that was part of your internal dialogue.
Yeah,
right?
but I was still let people enjoy stuff, and I did say that out loud to people. I just did not post it on the internet.
Okay. And I guess there's one other thing which I think is worth stressing here, because like a lot of the discussion that we have done of criticism in this conversation has been around the idea of criticism in the context of like social responsibility and like the moral weight of art, like the moral weight of Harry Potter. Criticism also exists as like a method of like deconstructing like the quality of things. Like I recognize that Commando is a bad movie. Commando sucks ass. Like it is a bad movie. I fucking love Commando. And so like I don't have any moral quandaries with Commando. Like it's not like say Harry Potter where I look at it and go like, oh Jesus, like the ideas advanced in this writing are bad and are further revealed bad through assessment. Like, and when I say use bad in that context, I'm talking about like morally questionable. Like Commander's just bad because it's not good, you know? And like that's the other thing, which is like I guess people need to grapple with, is this idea that there can be good things which are not for you, and there can be bad things which are for you. Be comfortable with assessing. Be comfortable with the idea of examining the value of something's construction. Be comfortable with evaluating the ethics of things. It's just like the idea of just going in and turning your brain off and letting your soul die. Just like is the most like fucking Marvel Cinematic Universe. Sit there on the roller coaster and just wait for the fucking air gun to hit you in the back of the neck thing. Jesus Christ! But stop it! Stop it! Ah! I'm ranting and we're not even out of banter.
We're not even down to banter. Oh. I think if you are encountering, just let people enjoy things, and it's part of it's a reaction to your struggle with new information brought about media that you love, then you are fine. I don't think you have to post it on the internet. I don't advise posting personal opinions on the internet a lot of the times, because I have had some shit takes that aren't on the internet, and I have one shit take that is still on the internet that I think I'm gonna delete. But
man, Rocky, you had a thought. I could see a thought gestating.
Nah, dude, head empty, no thoughts.
Okay.
No thought, head empty.
Okay. I will briefly mention, just so that way I can get to some of these other things, that I played both Barbie High School Mystery and Barbie Secret Agent.
Cool.
This past week.
Are these games you played on your Analog Pocket, or are these games you played elsewhere?
These are games that I, in fact, played on my Analog Pocket.
Balls.
Because, of course, I own these Barbie games on cartridges.
Do you enjoy the Barbie movies?
You know, I haven't really fucked with those.
Okay.
I kind of feel like I should.
Yeah, I think you should.
Yeah.
I think you should. Also, have you seen her web series? You should watch the web series also.
Okay, I'm up to date there.
Okay, good.
Yeah. But I was thinking that like maybe the first Barbie movie I should watch is the Barbie Diaries. Which kind of happened as like a direct byproduct of like Disney's success with the Princess Diaries.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That the idea of like doing like a movie which is presented as like this character is still in high school. Here are her adventures was something that Mattel tried, and like Barbie Secret Agent is like whatever. It's a 2D platformer and it's okay. And I guess like the reason that Barbie Secret Agent doesn't really like stand out is like there are actual Barbie. There are Barbie 2D platformers for the GBA that were developed by Way Forward. And so if like Way Forward is making 2D Barbie platformers, and like the way Way Forward has described what they did with the Barbie license it was their excuse to make Metroidvanias. Playing Barbie Secret Agent kind of like falls short. However, Barbie High School Mystery is the most weird, surreal, fucking bad, shitty garbage, and I love every minute of it. So in Barbie High School Mystery, Barbie is, on one hand, she walks around saying, like, I'm not popular in this school. No one likes me. Like, this is the thing Barbie is saying, because, like, it's weird how they're trying to, like, Mary Sue Barbie in this way. But yet everybody who encounters Barbie in this game is willing to move heaven and fucking earth for Barbie, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, the plot of the game is that, like, there is going to be a charity auction at the school, but someone has stolen all of the items for the charity auction. And whoever stole the items for the charity auction has, like, left a note which was like, hello, I have stolen the charity auction items. Don't call the police. Ha ha ha. And they're like, okay, well, obviously we shouldn't call the police because the person who stole the item said not to call the police.
We'll never call the cops, so.
Right. And so then Barbie is like, I will find the stolen mystery items. And there's this, like, other girl in class who's, like, established as, like, an antagonist to Barbie who is just elected junior class president, right? But the principal says to Barbie, if you can find the missing auction items, I will make you class president.
Doesn't that sound illegal?
And I'm like, it sounds to me like you're going to overturn the will of the voters. Just this person was elected class president, and now you're just like, I will make her class president if Barbie can find the missing auction items. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And she just, like, wanders around the school finding the mystery items. And, like, mechanically the game feels very much like a Scum style adventure game, like Maniac Mansion or Day of the Tentacle, something like that. Like where you're like wandering around looking for clues, solving puzzles, like making items interact with each other to, like, gain access to the stuff. And it's crazy that, like, that this is like a GBA game, because I was like, where was the demand for, like, Scum adventure games for the GBA? And then, like, put on top of that, like, who thought that, like, a Scum style adventure game modeled off of fucking Barbie with the Barbie license was, like, the way to go? Like, none of the puzzles are good. All of the puzzles are bad. All of the puzzles are incredibly easy. Or if they're not easy, it's because the puzzle is, like, deliberately too obtuse, and, like, you're not supposed to have the clues to solve it. You're just supposed to, like, wander around like an asshole until someone just tells you the answer. And, like, the way that they divide up the school is that in order to get from, like, hallway A to hallway B, you have to travel through, like, the cafeteria. And every time in the cafeteria, there's a food fight going, and you have to dodge food being tossed to get from one side to the other. And if you fail to dodge the food, you'll respawn at the beginning of the cafeteria and have to start over.
I would rather fucking die.
Yeah, it's terrible. I love it.
You know what? Actually, no. I'd rather die.
Yeah. And then to get from hallway B to hallway C, you have to, like, travel through the soccer field where soccer practice is happening. And guess what? You have to dodge the soccer balls. And so, like, Barbie will be, like, in hallway C and get a clue. And then, like, when she gets the clue, like, she has, like, a special mystery-solving PDA, which looks a lot like a Pokedex. She'll get, like, a notification on her, like, we'll call it her Barbadex. And be like, hey, come back to the AV room. I think I can decode that clue. Which will then require, like, traveling both through the soccer field and the cafeteria. Lots of that. And so, like, everybody in the game is, like, super nice to Barbie. And it's like, Barbie, you're the best, and everyone loves you. It's weird that you're not the most popular girl in school. And, she's got, like, this one student, like, the woman who, the girl who was, like, elected class president, and is like, Barbie, you're a total bitch. I was elected president. Like, everyone just loves you. And just, like, it's a myth that you're not popular. Just, I'm like, yes. Angry Girl is right.
Does she have brown hair?
Yes.
Got her. Easy.
Yeah.
Free.
Yeah. Like, every assumption that you're making about this game is probably true.
Yeah. Okay.
Another thing I love about it is because of when it was made, it's very much like a product of its time. Like, I love some of the prizes that, like some of the things that were for the auction that Barbie finds. Where it's like, oh, you found a portable MP3 player.
No shit.
This will do really well in the auction. Yep. You know, like when Barbie finds a cell phone, it's like obviously like a Nokia 5160 style thing. And I'm just delighting in this game's like very like early 2000s aesthetic, where like everything is just like fucking like candy jelly shaped and purple in weird ways, and it's just like it has that like that stink of the early 2000s all over it. Like lots of like, whoa, a DVD player. Maybe we could find a DVD with a clue. Like, it's like, oh Jesus Christ. And I think that this is what this Barbie mystery game pairs well with our discussion of like like criticism. Like, I will never tell anyone this is a good game. It is a bad game, but like I've had loads of fun with it, like playing this like weird scum trash game for the GBA. Because it is a bad game and it has no cult following, it's also very cheap for the GBA. So if you're like looking for like cheap trash, like you could pick up this Barbie mystery game, like in box, sealed in box for like generally like less than $20 for the GBA. So like if you would like to take a trip to like the early 2000s, there you go. Speaking of things that you can do for your GBA, here's something which is like not bad. Have either of y'all heard of the Open Lara project? Do you know what the Open Lara project is?
Vaguely.
I have no idea.
Okay. The Open Lara project takes the source code for the first Tomb Raider game, and it is an attempt to port Tomb Raider to just about anything that can run Tomb Raider. Like, I'm sure you've seen people doing things like running Doom on a refrigerator and like using like the ice dispenser to like shoot their gun, that kind of thing. The Open Lara project has not gotten that ridiculous, but it has like lots of like porting Tomb Raider to platforms where it was never released. You know, like let's port Tomb Raider to the 3DO. Let's port Tomb Raider to the Atari Jaguar, stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's been really interesting to see like platforms where nobody thought Tomb Raider could ever run, Tomb Raider running well. Where people like just didn't realize that the devices could be wizarded into working that way. Like it was really cool to see it run in the 3DO, but the latest Open Lara release, which is really impressive, is Tomb Raider on the GBA.
Okay, sure.
It is full on the entirety of Tomb Raider 1 running on the GBA, and like I find this especially interesting because like people always knew that the GBA had the ability to run like 3D graphics. Like there are a small number of like 3D games that were released for the GBA, and they're kind of like novelties because people associate like the GBA and like the way it's remembered is like very tied to pixel art and 2D games and very good pixel art. because it was probably the game with like the system with the highest horsepower, where game development was predominantly pixel art. It was kind of like the last stand of pixel art, but like you had games like Crazy Taxi for the GBA that were 3D. Like it wasn't very good. The Crazy Taxi game for GBA was like pretty bad, but like there was like an Asterix and Obelisk 3D platformer for the GBA that actually was pretty good. And so like people have known for years that the GBA can handle 3D graphics. Like, I guess there was always like a question of like how far could it be pushed, what could it do, because like the power of the GBA was closer to a PlayStation than a Super Nintendo, despite the GBA being so like married to the Super Nintendo in people's perspective because of all of the SNES ports that got put out on the thing. Mm-hmm. And so this person fucking ported Tomb Raider to the GBA, where it runs absolutely perfectly. They made the ROM available on GitHub, so you better believe that like I grabbed Tomb Raider for the GBA and I threw it on my my Anbernic 351, and it is absolutely like wild. As soon as I get like an EverDrive cartridge, I am going to throw this thing onto my analog pocket. Jeez, it's just wild. It's just wild to see this game run on the GBA, and I just like I have to wonder like what would have history been like if there had been more aggressive 3D development for the GBA.
I feel like it would have ruined his reputation.
You think so?
Yeah, like my understandings, the reason they didn't pursue 3D like development on the GBA so aggressively is because it's closer to the edge of its capability. And so they would either need to fiercely control 3D development, or not 3D development, but quality control 3D games on the system, or they would run worse. And like that would damage the reputation of like a device that you could give a kid to go fuck off. Like, I'm not saying that it's impossible to do so. I'm just saying that, like, because 3D games are more resource intensive and are easier to fuck up, as far as I can tell, because there's just more things that are on screen or working on the processor, that, like, we would have gotten some worse games.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, I guess, like, the really the thing that makes that stick, Rocky, is that like so many of the major studios that were supporting the GBA were putting smaller teams on their GBA projects, or they were giving those teams like less funding and shorter development windows. Like, and I have no doubt that like a well-funded large team which had enough time.
Oh yeah, they would have been able to. That would have been fine.
Exactly, but if you're putting like 8 guys on it and giving them 4 months, then like 8 guys, 4 months is not going to put out a good 3D game for a platform which has really got no 3D to speak of. Like, everybody who put out a 3D game for the GBA had to build the engine from scratch that they used.
Shit, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so like the fact that like Asterix and Obelisk game is like good is a miracle, because they had to build their engine for it. So like it is fascinating because it's a platform that could have supported it, but I guess it just says more about like hedging your bets and controlling your budgets. Yeah, interesting. Also, I got a thing. This is another video game thing. I got a Legend of Zelda Game & Watch.
Cool.
Yay!
Yes.
Congrats, how do you like it?
It's really nice. It's
very pretty.
It's so much better than the Mario one.
Is it?
Yeah. Like by a country mile.
Aww.
Yeah.
Mario,
Yeah, like,
you are a flagship, and yet Zelda beats you
yeah.
again.
And it's very apparent that Nintendo learned from the Mario one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that there's a couple things at play here. Like, one, like on this one, they just put more games. Like the Mario one, it's like you've got two games and one of them sucks. You know, you've got like Super Mario Brothers, which is a good video game, and then you've got like the Japanese Super Mario 2, which is a bad video game.
Mm-hmm.
Which has like all of these like aggressive blind jumps and like fuck you hidden blocks and all this shit. Like there is a reason that like Super Mario 2 is like a game which is always celebrated by like fringe enthusiasts. But like the Zelda Game & Watch has 3 full games in Zelda, Zelda 2, and then Link's Awakening are all on this thing. And for all 3 games, this thing supports save states and has a sleep mode. So you can just be like, I'm going to play a little Link's Awakening before bed, and then just pick it back up from sleep. And it's just waiting for you, ready to go. And that's nice. Also, the fact that it has save states means that it's very easy to switch back and forth between the 3 games, and not have to worry that you're going to like lose your progress in one of them, which is also nice. Something that you could not do on the Mario Game & Watch was like when you would actually put the device into watch mode, it would like create this cute like fun screen which shows like Mario stuff happening with Mario on it, and you're like, oh wow, look, like there's a whole bunch of question blocks which says like 1:41 p.m. Can I run with Mario and jump and hit the question blocks? No, you couldn't.
No.
But with the Legend of Zelda Game & Watch, when you put the game into watch mode, Link is fully interactable.
Aww, cute.
Yes, which is a lot more fun. So like it is
amazing. I have to say this is amazing because I've had the Zelda Game & Watch since it came out, and I just haven't opened the box.
So you're pleased to give me a report on your unopened object?
I'm very pleased to hear you open on my unopened object.
Do you think you're ever
an unopened object? I like it.
You're going to leave it as a sealed object?
No, I'll probably open it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just I'm saving it as a treat. You know how sometimes you just need to open a thing? You know, sometimes you just gotta crack open a gacha or whatever. Like,
right.
That's what I'm saving it for.
Yeah, I do like the one thing I will say that like, and I'm not gonna say like the Mario one is like downright bad. Like I will call Super Mario 3D All Stars downright bad, but the Mario game, I'll call the Mario Game & Watch okay. It is firmly okay. But like the one thing I will say about these like revival Game & Watches is that they are fun to hold. They have a good form factor, and the boxes are very pretty. So if you like pretty old things that have like very handsome throwback packaging, like these are those. Like these are very handsome boxes. Mm-hmm. The construction of them feels good. Mm-hmm. If you do want to like use them as like a nightstand clock, they work for that just fine. Like these are good. You know, like these are like I hope they make more of these. I'd love to see a Metroid one. I think that like this is a good mark.
Yoshi's Island one. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, I could see that.
It'd be real cute. I'm saving it on purpose because it does have my favorite, my like personal. I enjoy the Zelda game a lot. It has Link's Awakening, so like that's more why I'm saving it than like anything else. Because like I'm gonna crack it open and breeze through it in 12 hours. Can't wait. You know.
Right. So yeah, like more of these things, Nintendo. Like it's weird. Like you know, like on one hand, I want them to make Nintendo Online better and you know add more games and add games more quickly and add more features to the game that they have and make N64 better online. Like all of these things, these are all things I want. But simultaneously, concurrently, make more of these little fucking things that cost $50 because, like, I will buy them. You know, I will enjoy lining them up on a shelf. Like, I feel like these strike a nice balance between appealing to Nintendo enthusiasts in general, appealing to old game enthusiasts, and appealing to people who like handheld things. Like, I feel very strongly targeted by these devices.
Mm-hmm. You are very strongly targeted by these devices. 100%. I can tell from the color scheming.
Oh, that gold. That original Famicom gold on those boxes. Oh, God. They're so nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm such a mark. I'm a fucking mark.
We know, Brian.
It's known that I'm a mark.
It's very known that you are a mark, Brian.
Oh. What else am I a mark for?
What else is still on this list? Oh, game preservation. Yeah, got him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
You said the 2 words, and Brian's just like, all right, we're doing this story next, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's true. This is I think this is a heartwarming story of game preservation. So there was a young man, named Tracy Kellerman, and Tracy was, enthusiastic about game development, enthusiastic about playing games and making games. And in 1983, Tracy developed a video game for Apple II called Glutton. Atari maintained a youth advisory board, which was for like kids and teens to give feedback on the Atari VCS and Atari VCS games. And teenage Tracy served on the youth advisory board. There was a book that came out in 1984 that like profiled children and teens that were interested in game development who were actively programming. The book was called Computer Kids. And he was featured in that book, because of his Apple II game, Glutton. And Tracy died in 1986 of brain cancer when he was 18 years old.
When does this become a heartwarming story?
I'm getting there. Okay. All right. It's darkest before the light.
We're not rushing you, but we're rushing you a little bit.
Okay. All right. So, Tracy's brother found a floppy disk of Tracy's, which seemingly would have been a copy of Glutton. Every copy of Glutton had been lost. No one had a copy of it. Like, game preservationists had been interested. No one had Glutton. And so this disc got found, which seemingly might have been a copy of Glutton, and Tracy's brother sent it to a game preservationist. And at first nothing. And the person thought it was possibly, an issue with like bit rot or that the disk was corrupted or something. And so they roped in somebody else. Come to find out that it was none of those things. It was not bit rot. It was not corruption. It was that young Tracy had encrypted the data on his disk. And so like they reverse engineered
the encryption?
Yeah. They reverse engineered the encryption. And so now Glutton has been found and it is online for everyone to play.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So like that one, like just the discovery at the end there that, no, this wasn't bit rot. No, this wasn't corruption. Like this was, this magnetic media wasn't damaged. The reason that you couldn't just stick the disk in was that this smart kid had developed his own encryption to protect his files. And it's just like, it's stuff like this, which, is part of the reminder that like game preservation, is important. And especially now that we're getting back into an era where there's more and more video games which are developed by small teams. Like a lot of times these games are like the reflection of like a person or a small group of people. And it's like I will never sit around and say that I want to play Apple Snake. I will never tell anyone that I want to play Apple Snake. But I think it's important that Apple Snake be preserved. You know, like it's a part of the history of this medium, and it's so wild to think like how stuff fades in and out of existence and becomes hard to find, and how there are already. And now think about like the age of this platform and the age of this game. Like this was a game that was developed in 1983 for the Apple II. Mm-hmm. There are already, I shit you not, like lost DS games. Yeah.
Because like the virtual console shut down?
Not just the virtual console. There are actual DS games that were made available only on cartridges, which cannot be found. Like, no shit. Because a lot of times with the terms of sale that retailers will look for, when they can't sell a whole lot of things, they're allowed to like ship them back to distributors as part of like sales agreements. At which point, like the distributors will like, if they can find somebody who wants to like take on the remaindered merchandise, sell the remaindered merchandise to that secondary retailer, and if not, just destroy them. Or DS games that were produced for non-commercial purposes. Like there was a DS game that was produced for training new employees in McDonald's in Japan. Like you got hired to work at McDonald's in Japan, you got handed a DS with a game in it. And like people had been hunting for years for the McDonald's training game in Japan. Because when McDonald's stopped using the Nintendo DS to train new employees, they gathered up all the cartridges and destroyed them. And so people were like, well, where's the McDonald's DS game? Where's the McDonald's DS game? Because like the McDonald's DS game is like this reflection of a very particular period in the history of development for the DS, when like Nintendo was trying to pitch the DS as a device to for broader business application, trying to tell companies you should use the DS to do other things. And so like preserving a record of that, is important. And so like finally a copy of the McDonald's DS game showed up on Yahoo Auctions. Yep. And some game preservationists got together. They pulled money to make sure that their bid was higher than anybody else's. So that way the game would like get ripped and preserved. So yeah, I wanted to share this story of like Glutton, and I guess also the story of the McDonald's DS game, because that also happened this week. Because because I care so much about game preservation. I'm so passionate. I don't know. Either of y'all have feelings on either one of these game preservation stories?
I mean, I think they're both good. I think game preservation is the thing that you're passionate about. I think they're, like, it's good to highlight the stories of successful preservation, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hopefully it gets more people interested,
Yep. Hopefully, like, there are good folks out there doing good work. It's something you care more, learn more about. Like, the Video Game History Foundation is a good place to start your looking. The last thing I wanted to yammer about was a documentary I watched this week called Woodlands Dark and Days Bewitched, which is a 3-hour documentary about folk horror.
Like Mothman?
I don't think so.
I feel like I've said something bad.
I don't think.
No, you didn't. Like the sound you heard me make is a sound of thinking.
I don't know anything about scary stuff.
No, like I'm trying to figure out whether or not Mothman qualifies as folk horror. and it's a hard question.
I mean, he's a cryptid, but like his initial story is kind of spooky, you know?
So like one of the things there seems to be like a defining characteristic of folk horror is not so much necessarily like, is it a thing that people like currently believe? Like, there are people who probably believe that there is a Mothman. There are people who probably believe that there is a Bigfoot. Also, I recently found out more about the racist origins of Bigfoot, and that shit like blew my mind.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know about this shit?
Absolutely, yes.
I did not.
It happens.
Oh, God. So, the thing which seems to drive folk horror is like a fear of the old beliefs, a fear of the old ways. Like, so not necessarily like terror about something which is currently believed, conceivably like a Mothman. Like, there might be people sitting around in West Virginia who are like, Mothman! But more like you go to West Virginia and you might see somebody has put up a doll on their porch, which is made of like corn husks, and they're drawing sigils in dirt beside their door and stacking stones and stuff like that. And you're like, oh God, what kind of like ancient belief system is this? Like, folk horror is really about like the old ways are going to get you. The old beliefs are going to get you, that there is something dark and there is something forgotten, which is like gonna get you. And it's like
Windy Boy.
What is a Windy Boy?
Yeah, I can't say his name. He gonna get it. He gonna get me. What is it? I don't even know how to spell it. Hang on, I got Google. Yeah, I spelled it right. Cool. I do know how to spell it. Like that. A Windy Boy.
I'm sorry, is there a thing that should be in chat right now?
Yeah, there's a thing that should be in chat right now. I'll put it into our chat. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't panic.
Because all
chats.
All right, because I'm going to say, all I see in the chat is that thing you sent to us before we did the show.
Yeah, no, I put it in the Twitter chat now. It exists there also.
Oh, Wendigo.
No. Spooky Man. He's a Windy Boy. He gonna get you.
And you think that people shouldn't say Wendigo?
Yeah, you're not supposed to say it.
See, I'm not familiar with any like belief system that says that the word itself is forbidden, or that. Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, so like lots of like old religions, lots of like the forest itself, the earth itself is aggressive, or witches, and it was like absolutely fascinating to like dig into this, and it's like made me interested in consuming as much folk horror as possible. And so I have a thing I would like to ask our listeners, because after I watched this documentary, I tried to find examples of it, and I could not. It seems to be that folk horror is a thing which has not really shown up in video games. Like, there seems to be that there's a lot of examples of like different types of horror which have shown up in video games, but like folk, not so much. Like, there are definitely video games which represent like, like conventional monster mythology, but never anything about like the things that people used to believe. Like, there's nothing about like abandoned or forgotten belief systems or old ways, and like Castlevania. Castlevania is just like you're in this fucking mansion and you got a whip and here's the business. Or like Resident Evil doesn't seem tied to any kind of like old or forgotten belief systems. It's just like here's some zombies. The Umbrella Corporation is bad. Do a business. And so a lot of times, like horror as represented in video games feels fresh. And so if anybody who's listening has any examples of like video games that they believe are examples of folk horror, I'd love to know because I'm on this like absolute tear right now, and this is something I would like to spend time with. Like, and in the few examples I could like find that people were positing online, they're like, well, what about this? And I would go look at whatever this was, and like this was the inevitably the thises that they were citing were more stuff from like early 2000s creepypastas. And it's
after like Slenderman and stuff,
right? And I'm like, well, no, like Slenderman is a thing that people, for better or for worse, definitely for worse, based on that stabbing, is a thing that people actually believe. Like, like that's a currently held belief system, and like, the terror of like folklore is the terror of like forgotten or abandoned ways, forgotten or abandoned belief systems. Like, if people actually believe that there's a man made of teeth who's going to eat your teeth, that's a thing that people currently believe. Or if they believe that there's a slender man who's always getting closer, like, that's a currently held belief. Like, so, like, urban legends and, like, creepypastas aren't necessarily what I'm looking for because those are, currently adhered to folklore, not abandoned and ancient folklore. I'm sure this is one of those things where I'll say, do either of you have any thoughts on folk horror? And they'll say, like, no, Brian, this is another one of those old man things and no one cares. But do either of you have any thoughts on folk horror?
Folk horror is cool. It's weird that you don't think there aren't video game examples, but you didn't ask me, so I'm going to keep that to myself.
Oh, Jesus, Rocky, I literally just asked for examples.
No, you asked... You open that entire line of inquiries, like, I want to post something to our listeners. If you guys know anything about it, like, fuck these
Rocky,
two.
do you have any examples of folk horror?
Yeah, but again, keeping it to myself.
What the... You know what? This is the second time you've done this in this episode.
It's true, yeah.
Like, it's... Rocky, I don't know if, like, you think this is an amusing gimmick. It's not.
I don't know. I'm having fun.
Jesus Christ.
New bit, Rocky annoys Brian.
I'm not gonna make a habit of it.
Tegan, like, if you think this is a new bit, like, you haven't been listening. Like, you legitimately think you have examples, and you're just not going to say them out of spite.
Correct.
He might tell you them off the air so that it gives our listeners an opportunity to, pitch stuff to you.
I am also interested in that.
So tired.
You gonna walk into the sea, Brian?
Sea's too good for me. Sea's too good for me.
Oh my goodness. Alright. So, Final Fantasy XIV continues to be a game that people cannot buy. We're about a month into that now. But that's turning around. I think around the time this episode comes out, if I remember correctly. Yeah, the Tuesday before. So you will be able to buy Final Fantasy XIV again. Please don't. The queues are already bad enough. Like, I'd really like to just sit down and play the video game on a weeknight, and it's tough to do that these days. Oceania is getting their server. It's going to go live on the 25th on patch day. And Square Enix is hoping that a bunch of people that are on the Japanese and North American servers will migrate over to the Oceania server, which would free up those other two servers until they can figure out what to do with the rest of it. Europe is currently fucked, and they will be till the summer. I think they're not going to get any new servers until July. And North America is getting their fix in August. So that's what we have to look forward to. In the meantime, traffic has slowed down somewhat because it's mostly like raid time as opposed to like new expansion time now. I mean, there's still people that are going through the story or whatever, but the new and hot thing is for everyone to try doing the raids, which only about half of the player base ever really attempts, and less than the quarter usually make it through. But we're on week 2, and my group has cleared 2 of the fights already, and 6 of us have cleared 3 of them. They spent like all yesterday progging through it. It's gotten us some neat shit posts for like this dog and this Elmo strat. It's fun because I look at them and I'm like, this looks like gibberish, and I look at it for more than 2 seconds. I'm like, oh shit, I know what this is. Like, this is limit cut. It's like, oh, this is Elmo. And like now I know how to deal with mechanics in like a shorthanded way. I think this is like Hieroglyphics Plus. I think that's dope. Hopefully, if we get through the last 2 fights this week, like week 3, then we can spend the rest of our time just farming, which means we won't really have to deal with like randos, and our like time commitment for the most part will just be that like Tuesday through Thursday instead of like the extra hours that we've been doing to try to get ahead. So I'm looking forward to that, because usually it takes us about 3 months to clear the content, and then like, you know, another 8 weeks to like farm everyone up. But this looks like it's going a lot smoother, and I'm excited for that future. Does anyone want to play Final Fantasy XIV? The free trial won't be coming back anytime soon. They haven't announced that yet.
Oh my god. Amazing. Do you want to try playing it? You can't buy it, and also you can't actually play it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you will be able to buy it. When they put up the Oceania server on the 25th, which should be the day before this episode comes out, they will also resume sales of the game.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I bet they're gonna get another influx of sales.
I have no doubt in my mind. It's just, I mean, Tegan's seen it, where, like, I'll try to queue up for the game, and I'm waiting, like, 3 hours. I built a whole entertainment center waiting for my queue one night.
You did. You really did.
Oh, damn it. But now, like...
It was fine. It's a good entertainment center.
It is a good entertainment center. But, like, now, like, my queues are mostly around 1,000, which, on off nights, allow me to log in the space of an hour, which, like, allows me to fit in, like, a game of League or so. But... for the most part, like on, especially like Tuesdays, let alone patch Tuesdays, I have to queue in after work, and that takes like 2 hours, which means like it just sets our entire raid back. And even then, we've already cleared 2-3 of the 4 fights. So,
I believe you. You'll get through it.
It shouldn't be too much longer. I think it's just going to be like... I think we'll be able to get through, like, the next 2 fights in, like, the next 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. One thing that I'm not especially looking forward to is that I've finished my placements for League of Legends. I was placed in the Bronze 4 at 89 LP. Like, I started in Iron 1, if you could believe it. And, like, I won 8 of my 10 games. I'm still fucking Bronze 4, about to be Bronze 3. And so, I'm pretty sure I can get back to Silver relatively simply. Especially with, like, a duo partner. We have a good amount of communication and understanding of the game. But, like, the thing for me is going to be getting through Silver. And that just means I'm going to have to play more. I'm going to have to do research and stay ahead of the meta. And then, like, I can probably fill in the rest of it. But they're definitely... But, like, the problem is that it definitely has to be consistent. I have to be, like, reading patch notes when they come out. And I'm going to have to, like, play more than, like, a couple of games a week if I'm going to see any, like, real results. So, it's a very, like... sort of like hitting the gym sort of situation. I'm gonna have to play days when I don't really want to, which I'm not super excited about, because once again, it's a video game. I should be having fun playing it, but I have a goal, and I think I can get there. But
I mean,
Come on.
it is video
I
game,
know.
but it is also League of
You got
Legends.
it.
Fucking League of Legends.
You got it.
You are torturing yourself
come on. You can step
purpose.
over.
A little bit, but like,
Come on.
see,
Oh,
Tegan, the thing is that there are definitely games when like I put it together and it feels really good. There are games where like I'll win and like not even like on a dirty win, like I'll win like games where like people are just throwing themselves into my bullets and they die. And like that's not super fun, but we take those.
Right, yeah.
But like I need to also, because I've learned over looking over the stuff from like last season that like I tend to lose games if I don't start off strong, and I have trouble turning around games at like pivotal moments, and it is personally because I give up on my team. Like I'll just see like everyone flop around, and even though I'm supposed to be like the late game threat, I'll just like start playing worse because everyone's giving up at 15 minutes, and I have to stop doing that if I want to climb. And like, yeah. So like, I really got to like get my head out of my asses and just be like, hey, I know we're not doing well, but you need to do what you're doing just so you can have a chance of winning the game, which is deeply disheartening personally. But like, I gotta get better at it. That's the role that I wanted to pick. So I gotta believe.
Yeah, I mean, you're learning. That's the important part, I think.
I am actually learning a lot. And, like, I just want to prove that I can do this. And so, like, I gotta, actually do it for real. I can't, like, just, like, take it on the head like I've done for a while. But the good news is that in between those things, I can play through Monster Hunter Rise on PC. And it's, like, an uncapped frame rate. And fucking, like, I think I have a 2K monitor that I'm playing it on. And it looks really good and it feels really good. I mean, I'm playing on a 360 controller, which is also kind of nice. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I'm playing on dual blades. Because when I played Rise, I wanted to pick a new weapon, so I did Lance and Gun Lance. So I didn't actually get to play dual blades, even though I've been playing it for like 10 years. I never went back to it on the Switch because I'd already beaten everything. But now I get to like re-clear with dual blades, and it's really familiar, and that feels really cool. So Rise is probably going to end up being my comfort game when like League is on the edge of breaking my spirit.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Honestly, having a comfort game, if you're trying to do something really big in League, I think is very important.
I'm gonna lean on it heavily. Like I may bring it up more than a couple of times. But yeah, that's all my stuff. Do we have a call to action? A call to action.
I don't know. I want people to tell me folk horror video games, but apparently I can just get fucked and go to hell.
Brian, seriously? Okay. Alright, shit. There was a PS2 game that I was just thinking of. But you're looking for specifically stuff from a world that like looks at older like belief systems and is afraid of like their effects, even though they don't tend to reach to the modern world, right?
Right. It like old folk horror is very much about like the old ways are going to get you.
Right.
Like the Wicker Man.
Right.
Like you've seen the Wicker Man, right? I don't mean like the shitty Nicolas Cage movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Wicker Man from 1973, where like this cop goes to an island because he's like trying to follow up on a missing persons report, and when he gets there, he discovers like everybody on the island are these like these pagans who believe in like the old ways, and he's a total dick to all these people. He's like we're British, England is a Christian nation, and he's just like running around being a fucking dick. And people are dancing with their maypoles and so forth, and then at the end of the movie, they build a giant man made of wicker, and they put him in it, and they set the fucking Wicker Man on fire. Mm-hmm. Spoilers for the end of the Wicker Man. And they do so in order to ensure that like the bounty of their next seasons of crops will be greater.
Right.
And so like the fear that comes from folk horror is like the old ways are dangerous. The old way. What if the old ways are true? Oh God, you know, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I mean, I guess there's different ways that folk horror happens. It's either what if the old ways are true? Oh God, or there's also like what if the adherence to the old ways make the old ways dangerous?
Right.
You know, like there's different ways that like you can skin this cat. Like it basically it's danger caused by old belief systems, dangers caused by forgotten places. Which is also to say it is also very definitely not cosmic horror, because in cosmic horror those belief systems actually never existed, right? There's nobody is actually out there fucking worshiping Cthulhu. So don't send me cosmic horror. I can find cosmic horror. Cosmic horror shoots out the ass. Like one of my favorite video games, I'm on record saying one of my favorite video games is cosmic horror, which is Eternal Darkness Sanity's Requiem.
Mm-hmm.
But like folk horror is about the danger, you know, like either actually from reality or emerging from adherence of the old belief systems and the old you know, like worshiping of, you know, worship by man. You know, like what happens when humans believe things and then slip away from those beliefs. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. This is just me.
Okay, it's just, so I understand why you would discount stuff like Castlevania, but I don't know why you would discount things like, say, Far Cry 5 or Silent Hill 2.
Far Cry 5... Isn't Far Cry 5 like a cult that actively believes the things that they believe? Like it's an ongoing belief system? Like I don't remember it being like rooted in any kind of like older belief. Like I don't remember them like reviving like an old belief system, but I thought it was just like, here's some assholes in Montana. They made a cult. And I thought it was like newly formed belief systems.
No,
comparatively. Like they're not like unearthing like things that are hundreds or thousands of years old.
Maybe not hundreds of thousands of years old, but it's more of like maybe like a revival of like Calvinism with like a much more like physical punishment element to it. But like, I don't know.
Okay, well then we have like sub question B to our listeners: is Far Cry 5 folk horror? Like your beads on that. Silent Hill 2, like maybe I don't remember enough about Silent Hill 2.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that? Why are you suggesting it as folk horror?
If I remember, I mean, I know like a lot of it is like grounded in like the actual like protagonist like losing his mind.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember, or at least I think I remember, like there was like groups of people that like proliferated these like old beliefs in like confusing, vague dialogue that like mostly served to disorient you, but definitely led you down paths that like put you in more danger than anything else. But I'd have to check the dialogue again, but at least that's what I remember about it.
Okay. Because I could have sworn that like there was nothing tied to like, you know, like the forgotten faiths and forgotten religions of man in
Silent Hill 2.
Yeah. I also can't recall like something I thought that might be ripe for this quest is I can't remember if there's any Blair Witch video games.
I feel like there's like two, aren't there?
Yeah. But like I feel like that might be a good target for this quest if there is.
Yeah, there was one that came out like 3 years ago. August 30th, 2019.
Okay, then I should probably fuck with that. I should probably fuck with the Blair Witch video game.
Actually, didn't Alex play it, Tegan?
I think he did, yeah.
Okay.
I recall not liking it, but I also don't like scary things,
Mm-hmm.
so...
What's this? Layers of Fear? That's probably not the right direction.
Yeah, I did look at that one. It's not.
Okay.
And like I like lots of different kinds of like ways that things are made scary. You know, when they're like interactive media or games. Like liminal spaces are scary. Like terrifying architecture is scary. You know, belief that no matter how hard you try, you're going to die. Like overwhelming bosses. Like overwhelming bosses, like have been like a representation of like mechanical terror in games. Really, for as long as there's been like JRPGs, and we're able to use them as like a plot conceit. Like, oh, if you go left from here, there's a boss, and you will not be able to kill it. Like, you know, like so, like while not strictly a horror game, like the thing that they're specifically trying to engage with the players is like the sense of being overwhelmed and terrified.
You heard of this thing called Pathologic 2?
I've not.
I'm going to give you a Steam page, but
Okay. So, Tegan typing the word Wendigo just showed up in chat for me. That's hilarious. So that's so I don't know. I don't know if that qualifies as a call to action, but it's a thing that I'm interested in. It's a thing that I'm invested in right now. You know, I love it because like it a lot of times it's a reflection of the failures of the people who have that fear. Like in this documentary I watched, that one of the things I found very particularly interesting was they were talking about the idea and the truth that there is no such thing as an Indian burial ground. That like there are places where various tribes can honor their own customs for like how they dispose of the bodies of their dead, like whether they like burn them, bury them, whatever. But like that's going to be reflective of that particular group of indigenous people's belief systems. You know, it's you know a Shawnee burial site or a Cherokee burial site. There is no such thing as an Indian burial ground. But but the notion of Indian burial ground is like an expression of collective fear and guilt by a culture, you know, over like a decimated belief system. They're like, oh, okay, there's all these people that used to live here that believed a thing. We don't know much about them, so, but we're pretty sure that their beliefs and their ways could destroy us. Like, so like a lot of times folk horror has an expression of like cultural guilt to it as well. Mm-hmm. Not always, but frequently, because usually folk horror is about like the displacement of one culture through or another, either through like geographic expansion or simply through the advancement of time. But I don't know. Like, this is one of those times where like I'm sure that there are people who are like listening to this thing while they're fucking stacking cases of water in Walmart, being like, Jesus Christ, just move on to the video games to get people.
Well, I mean, they're shit out of luck. We got to talk about news after this.
Yeah. The video games are over.
Mm-hmm.
News only now.
GG's.
But it could be news about video games. They might like that.
Yeah, maybe. We'll find out.
Yeah. Da-da-da-da-da-da. News. I think somebody tried to assign me a story this week, and I said, fuck y'all, and I took it out.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
To be fair, nobody had anything in here, so I did my best.
No, I appreciate it. Riot sucks. Eat shit, Riot. But I'm not really in the mood to talk about Riot.
Don't worry about it. Just do the story you wanted to do. I don't care. Literally, I do not give a shit about Riot either.
Yeah, they suck. So There was a thing that happened this week, which I saw Rocky react to on the internet, and I also thought was funny, which was Sony cannot produce enough PlayStation 5s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sony's reaction to being unable to produce enough PlayStation 5s is to produce more PlayStation 4s.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yes. I'm trying to remember exactly how you reacted to it, Rocky, but like, it was obviously one of those like, this story too dumb, this moment too dumb, this breaks me kind of thing. And I think it is also absolutely an expression for just like simply how unprepared Sony is for like the evolving and changing video game market. But just like, oh God, can we offer you a PlayStation 4 in these trying times? And something which has come out in the last week is that Microsoft ceased production of all models of the Xbox One in 2020. So like while Sony is like, look, we're going to be producing more PlayStation 4s, Microsoft's like, yeah, we were done with that shit year before last. We're done with the Xbox One. Which is like interesting because this has now like led to all of these like kind of day late and dollar short like retrospectives on the Xbox One. People are like, oh, I guess the Xbox One is now officially a dead console. Shall we reflect on the Xbox One? Which has been like that the Xbox One kind of like sucks actually. And that like the most important thing that the Xbox One was like the period of time where like Phil Spencer was pivoting the Xbox division to try and like fix all of the things that Don Matrick broke. But like as a piece of hardware and like as a console generation, the Xbox One is definitely like largely forgettable and not very good. And that the main thing that whole console generation will be remembered for Microsoft is this was the time that they were, like building their internal development pipeline and pivoting how they were going to like approach the video game business altogether. But like, as far as like a piece of tech which had like games on it that are worth remembering or talking about, the Xbox One is not that. But I think it does speak to like Microsoft's emerging and changing video game philosophies, that even if they cannot make enough Xbox One X's and Xbox One S's, Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S's to satisfy current market demands, and these things are all still like expensive and hard to find, that matters less to Microsoft because of their shifting philosophy toward how they position themselves in the PC market. They believe that they can get you into the Xbox ecosystem even if you don't own a physical box. And that's fine with them. Like if they can get you into the Xbox ecosystem without you owning a thing, a box under your TV, they're happy to do it. Sony still wants you to own a box under your television in order to enter their ecosystem, and are still doing stuff like delaying PC releases for their first-party games by multiple years. Like just the last week, God of War came out for PC, and I just have to wonder, like, how sustainable in the long term is Sony's like philosophies. The other thing that happened this week, which I think ties into this story, is that Sony pulled from store shelves all of their PS Now gift cards. And both Jason Schreier and Jeff Grubb think that the reason that Sony has recalled the PS Now gift cards is that they're about to essentially launch PlayStation Game Pass. But that whatever that is going to look like won't have any kind of like PC component to it, and that the buy-in price will either be like significantly higher than Xbox Game Pass, or that in order to get the newest Sony titles, there will still be an individual cost associated with the games if you want to play them like at launch. Like, oh, I want to play the new God of War on PlayStation Game Pass. I guess you'll need to like shell out like $10 or $20 or whatever on top of the subscription fee. Kind of like looking at where PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are right now, do y'all have any thoughts on these like production pipelines and platform philosophies?
I have chosen to distance myself from pretty much the entire like console war as it stands. That was one of the driving decisions for me actually like buying and building a PC early last year, because I didn't want to have anything to do with this. I think that what they're doing, well, I think Microsoft is probably a bit more poised, but I'm not sure that's a result of business savvy and like more about like the fact that their parent company is Microsoft and they have more money than God. But I don't know. I think like the Xbox One wasn't that great of a system. I think it's dumb that Sony is trying to put out more PS4s because they can't make PS5s. But I kind of already knew this was going to be a mess, so I'm not really surprised.
Tegan?
Nah, I kind of agree. I mean, I don't play anything on Xbox, so like, I don't know. It's not really like my thing, I guess. I don't know. I don't feel like I play video games often enough or like intensely enough to be bothered by their stupid decisions, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, they're gonna make stupid decisions and they're gonna sink or swim with it, but like,
Yeah. I will definitely, continue to like follow this stuff. Like, I feel like Sony needs to like fully commit to either a more open ecosystem, or they need to go full Nintendo. Like, you can't do this like middle path that they're trying to walk is only going to like burn their cash reserves and frustrate people. You either go full Nintendo, or you have to adopt a more like open, publishing philosophy. This will not work in the long term. They will get burned by it. Rocky.
Yeah.
You have a story for us, sir.
Oh, yeah. So Platinum Games has recently named a new CEO. Their CEO of 5 years has not 5 years, 6 years, excuse me, Jesus, 2016. He stepped down, and his spot has been taken by Atsushi Inaba. Now, if you haven't heard that name before, that's fine. It's okay. I think you may actually be familiar with his work. He actually made his debut at Capcom in the late 90s and was involved in the Devil May Cry series, the Ace Attorney series, some work with Steel Battalion, and was a pivotal force in the development of Okami. Around 2006, he split off into his own video game development company, Seeds, which later merged with a different company in Japan, ODD, which later became Platinum Games. And now this guy's the CEO. He published an open letter, I think it was like earlier this week, talking about his design philosophy. And it's a lot of nice words, with, vague implications. No numbers or anything, but he basically states that Platinum Games' niche is innovative forms of play, and he has a strong interest in the existence of games in different styles for different people, and believes that liberty, like the idea of like player choice and player freedom, is key to enjoyment. He believes that Platinum Games approaches game design focusing on fun with complete sincerity and has a strong interest in user consideration. It's just a brief quote because I don't want to rehash this entire letter. But he says in his letter, our overarching goal for entering self-publishing has been unchanged since its conception. To invent something new and share it with the rest of the world, showing our sincerity toward creation at every step of the way. So, it looks like Platinum Games is currently in good hands. You know, we'll keep an eye out to see if Inaba fucks something up. But Platinum Games, for the most part, seems to have a good team and a good head on its shoulders. So, this seems like more of the same.
I'm always really interested in, like, the business end of Platinum Games. Because a lot of the way that they keep the lights on is with licensed games. And there was definitely a point where, like, they were definitely feasting in that regard. Like, they had, like, you know, the Transformer game and the Legend of Korra game. And there seems to have been, like, less of that recently. And I wonder if the shift in leadership will see any more of that.
I mean, maybe so. Like, a good way to, like, experiment is to, like, actually dive into licensed stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Because the license is what's going to sell, so you just need to make sure that it works. And if Platinum Games is interested in making something fun, regardless of the license, it's good for business. That makes sense.
Yeah. Also, like, I know that the deal that they did with Apple was under previous leadership. Also, come to think of it, the deal that they did with Nintendo was under previous leadership. Mm-hmm. So, I'd be curious to see if this will impact either of those relationships.
Why would it?
Well, it looks like Apple has gotten more gun-shy recently about, like, signing new devs to Apple Arcade. I don't know if it's because they're finding that, like, their subscription numbers have, like, plateaued, and so now I'm curious as to, like the Apple that was, like, eager to bring, you know, prestige Japanese developers into the Apple Arcade, you know, fold. Like, how would they feel about another game from Platinum? How would Platinum need to sell them? And, like, is Platinum prepared to make that pitch? Is Platinum willing to make that pitch? Would Platinum want to expend resources elsewhere? You know, and the Wonderful 101 had been for years, like, a game that only existed on the Wii U. And when Platinum, who owned the IP, ported it to Switch, they didn't just port it to Switch. They also released Wonderful 101 on PC and PlayStation 4. And, like, we know that, like, Nintendo shoulders the development costs for the Bayonetta series. Like, you know, yes, Platinum owns Bayonetta, and they own Bayonetta 2, and they own Bayonetta 3, but part of the deal for Nintendo, you know, shouldering the cost for the development of those games is that they're exclusive to, like, Nintendo's platforms in perpetuity. And them porting Wonderful 101 to, like, devices which are not Nintendo devices makes me wonder, like, have they been getting enough from, like, a money in standpoint? Like, has it been worth it?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my curiosity, because, like, yeah, like, Bayonetta 3 has been in development forever, and since Bayonetta 3 got announced, Wonderful 101 came out for PC and PlayStation 4. So, like, that's my curiosity. Like, it seems like both of these relationships, both the relationship with Apple and Nintendo, seem to be at a bit of a crossroads, and how will new leadership impact that?
Okay. I appreciate the expansion.
Fantastic. Does anybody want to talk about Halo?
It's got a baller soundtrack.
It really does. So on January 13th, Microsoft shut down the Xbox 360 servers for Halo 3, ODST, Reach, and Halo 4. For good and forever. And if you are a member of the Halo scene, if you are a Halo fan, like, you definitely saw like lots of sad Halo people haloing. Lots of nostalgic Halo people haloing. Like, for me, like, I have since started playing Halo on other platforms, so it didn't really matter, because like I have the Halo Master Chief Collection installed on both my Xbox Series X as well as my GPD devices, so that way I could comfortably Halo in bed. But like, there are a lot of people who, the way that they emotionally relate to the Halo games is on the platform that they first started playing them. You know, like, people who were like, yes, I have other Xboxes underneath my television, but the platform on which I play Halo is 364, 3, and 4, and ODST, and so on. And so there's a lot of people who like would continue to buy new video game consoles, but would like leave 360s hooked up to play Halo 3. This was very similar to like what happened with the shutdown of the original version of Xbox Live. I will say this, like, there was a lot less rancor around this because of like how much notice Microsoft provided. But like, on the original Xbox console, the OG Xbox, when Microsoft announced that they were going to shut down that version of Xbox Live because of the Xbox 360, which meant that the multiplayer was going to go down for like Halo 2 on the OG Xbox, like, people attempted to, I guess the best way to describe it would like stage digital sit-ins, like refusing to leave the games that they were in, because like Microsoft for a time wasn't going to shut down the servers until like the games like were empty. And so like they wouldn't allow people to start new games, but they're like, yeah, we won't shut down the game until like the games are concluded. And so there are people like sat in the Halo games just like not shooting at each other and be like, that's right, as long as we sit in these games, they can't shut the servers down. But with this, it was like a lot more positive and a lot more like happy. There were people who were like, hey, I never got the like the double kill achievement for 360 Halo 3, and they would like log into a game and like say over voice chat that they were like looking for help getting that achievement. Also, hilariously enough, like the shutdown of these Halo games on 360 were people having positive experiences with like voice chat. I watched so many TikToks of like happy Halo players hanging out on voice chat and being positive and not shouting homophobic or racial slurs at one another and just hanging out and talking Halo and helping each other get achievements. Lots of people like doing like ceasefires, so that way they can all just like get together and like walk maps together, looking at all their favorite spots on various maps. And like when it came time to shut down the servers, unlike the Halo 2 shutdown where Microsoft was actively trying to like shoo everyone out of a game before they flipped the switch, this time people knew that the switch was getting flipped, and so it was just kind of like a matter of like, you know, last person out flips the lights kind of thing. And it was like a celebration of like the value that the Halo 3 has really had, because like Halo 3 was the real belle of the ball for this retrospective moment, because like, God, the servers were for 14 and a half years, you know. And people were very, very happy with it, and it was a good moment to see a fandom come together, and in a positive way. And like since I love Halo and I love the Halo lore, and like I for the most part, like love the Halo community because for the most part, the Halo community has like grown up together. People who were like into like teabagging each other in online multiplayer are now like older and are like, oh gosh, I could never do that. There, as a random aside, I'm kind of like talking about how like the Halo community like has aged with the game, which I guess says that there aren't enough young Halo players. I saw a TikTok recently where a person was looking at like old footage of Halo 3, and they saw a player teabagging in a replay. Oh God, I'm forgetting a word. I need somebody to help me remember this word. That
you have
dance.
to describe the word.
That dance where you cause your ass cheeks to slap together.
Twerking?
Yes. And so this young person was looking at footage from Halo 3, and they're like, why does everybody twerk? Because they saw the teabagging from Days of Yore, and couldn't even figure out what those players were doing. And it was kind of like this like grimace shame moment where like old Halo player was like, all right, here's what people used to do in Halo. It doesn't really happen anymore. That is not twerking. And it's kind of like it was a moment to really like take stock and take inventory of the fact that like the Call of Duty community has like pretty much stayed the same since like Call of Duty 4. Like Call of Duty 4 is still like, hey yo, let's like smoke a bowl and then shout slurs at each other and I'll stick my nuts in your mouth. And that's not really a thing in a lot of other shooters anymore. So I don't know, like it was nice to see like a community come together and be positive with something and it really like demonstrate like growth is good. And the way that like this community dealt with like these servers going down was very different from the way that they dealt with the Halo 2 servers going down. Like it was a lot less angry and a lot more reflective and a lot more happy. I think you even sent me a TikTok about this, Tegan.
I did.
Like, yeah, it was like this person who was like packing up
Like,
their Xbox 3s.
He set it up off to the side with like the Halo Special Edition controller and the Halo game and put like a Master Chief helmet on top of it.
Yes, he put that like that particular Master Chief helmet came with the collector's edition of Halo 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's like putting his like Master Chief helmet from the collector's edition of Halo 3 on top of the packed up 360. And I was just like, this all feels very nice. And like I couldn't help but wonder if like the way that this community came together in this way, like I don't know, like have there been moments like that for you as a member of like the Zelda community, Tegan, where you could see like the community coming together in a positive way?
What? No. What? What do you even know? Zelda isn't a multiplayer game. There isn't that kind of experience.
But
like,
also,
there aren't servers to be shut down. There aren't necessarily like things to mourn.
Well, I'm not saying like there's a 1-to-1 analog, but what I'm saying is have there been moments where you've seen like the community come? Like Hitman is also not a multiplayer game, but like
this also implies that like I interact with a video game in the sense of a community, and I don't do that.
So, like, you can come across people who have, like, the same kind of, like, yarn on a board timeline theory shit, and you're like, do not interact. You're like, okay.
I'm like, good for you. Glad you're also theorizing. And that's it. Nope. I don't. I specifically do not interact in online communities. That's not a thing I do.
Stay tuned for the next episode where Tegan tells us if that Wordle, account really does just give Wordle answers.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited for that.
Rocky, have you had any experiences in like communities or fandoms where you think it's like a solid analog to this, like people coming together and being positive and not being total nutsacks?
I mean, yeah. But, those are usually very controlled, very contrived circumstances. They take a lot of work to pull off. I don't think they're really sustainable, but they are cool when they happen.
I mean, this sounds like the World of Warcraft people who would have funerals in game and stuff. It's giving me very much like that kind of vibe.
Yeah,
you know,
14, in 2020, the voice actor for Harshfont, who was a very pivotal character in the critically acclaimed expansion Heavensward, passed away from throat cancer, and so there were vigils and whatnot throughout Final Fantasy XIV. They did the same thing when Miura died, especially because Dark Knight is basically Guts cosplay, to be honest, and so they had a bunch of people posing as Dark Knights who had glammed their look so that they looked like Guts and had their little fires in respect of Miura's passing. It was a whole thing. And plenty of stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess I'm just kind of used to seeing that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
No worries.
Yeah.
Well, that was a story I brought today. Tegan, what's going on with Take-Two?
Take-Two has purchased Zynga for $12.7 billion with a
Jesus.
B.
Wait, that's more than Bethesda sold for, right? They sold for
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Just wanted to make sure.
Take-Two spent what is essentially more money than God on a publishing company, which is fun. And if you don't know, if you only know Zynga as the precursor to LiveJournal and shit, let me tell you what Zynga does. Zynga are the people who made Farmville and Words with Friends, and apparently there's a Snapchat game that's Among Us called Revamp. They did all of those games. And then we, the gamers, should be aware that Take-Two owns Rockstar Games and 2K. And obviously, all of this is still... Right now, it's still pending, regulatory approval, but it's expected to close in the first quarter of 2023, so we'll keep you posted on that. But, Jesus, Microsoft spent $7.5 billion on Bethesda, and Tencent then, beat them out and spent $8.57 billion to get a majority stake in Supercell. They didn't even buy them. And then Take-Two's hold my beer, I'm gonna buy the people who do fucking Farmville. So that's fun. That's where all your in-app purchases in fucking Red Dead and shit are going. I guess.
I have feelings.
Yeah, what are they?
There has been a thing which we've kind of been poking at the edges of over the last months, which is this expanding feeling of the inevitability of the metaverse or things like it in various video games. Here's Fortnite being hey everybody, it's Fortnite, and today here's Cardi B in Fortnite. Show up dressed as Pickle Rick. That kind of thing. And Facebook being hey everybody, welcome to the metaverse. Make your meta house, and then you can invite people over to your meta house, or maybe you can go together to metaverse Arby's. Isn't that fun? The metaverse. And then of course there's the absolute ridiculous mountain of fucking cash that Take-Two has made from Grand Theft Auto Online, which is why Take-Two has really abandoned so many other development pipelines to the exclusion of doing anything else in order to spend more development resources on GTA Online. I'm sure you guys have heard about the ridiculous protests being held by Red Dead Online players who were can we have anything for this video game? To which Take-Two says, no, please play Grand Theft Auto Online instead. And I can't help but wonder, as Grand Theft Auto Online becomes more and more a place just for online existence and lifestyle replication. Like, there's people who play GTA Online and really don't steal any autos when they play it. Like, what's going to happen is in GTA Online, it's like, hey, now you can farm with your friends. Now you can play crosswords with your buddies. Like, it seems like as more and more companies are shifting toward this model of like a single video game on which you spend all of your time and money, that like buying something like Zynga helps to like shore up the revenue stream for one of the most successful video games of all time. Like, Grand Theft Auto Online continues to like make more money year over year than most new video games. That has been out now since 2013. Jesus. Does this mean that like a lot of the like casual incremental purchase games that we're used to are now going to be represented in that place as well? Like, obviously, like I see Zynga continuing to do what they do, but I see the real value that they bring is being able to integrate that kind of bullshit into GTA Online.
Yeah, I also am thinking they're going to be integrating that bullshit. But also, I think by purchasing a company that does a majority of Facebook games, they're also getting in on Metaverse shit before Metaverse takes off.
It's, you know, like, I thought that too, but like a lot of what Zynga did, like Zynga really retreated from Facebook when Facebook pivoted the way they deal with games. Because Facebook had a whole bunch of games that were like shitty Flash games, you know, like you remember Mafia Wars and Farmville. And then
they did all those, yeah.
Yep, and then when Facebook said, we're pivoting away from shitty Flash games, we're not going to have any new shitty Flash games. Your shitty games on our platform now either have to be HTML5 compliant or you have to be developing for our Meta platform. Zynga said, thanks, but fuck off, and pivoted to largely mobile development, publishing for iOS and Android. So, like, stuff like Farmville 3, which is an actual video game, Farmville 3 did not come out on the Facebook platform. They did not publish it to Facebook because they did not want to deal with, like, the changes in publishing rules for Facebook games. So it could, like, that could happen, Tegan. Like, the street rolls both ways. Like, if, like, Zynga is like, hey, now that we're a subsidiary of Take-Two, can we have more resources to publish on Facebook again, so that way we can have like an adequate development pipeline for all of the possible platforms for this stuff? Like, I could see like Zynga's traditional business getting bigger with this purchase, and also Zynga's traditional business being integrated into other games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, this is a big fucking deal. This is a very big fucking deal. And I think people need to, like, when you think about your traditional game publishers that you love, or even non-traditional game publishers, consider the fact that like every one of them represents value to these like large meta games. Like, remember when Harmonix got bought, y'all? Who bought Harmonix?
Epic.
That's right. Like, Harmonix bought fucking Epic bought Harmonix so that way Harmonix can make, quote, music experiences for Fortnite. Oh, like I see lots and lots of like publishers out there just representing values for these like large meta platforms at this point.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we'll see what happens. It has to go through regulatory approval still, and if everything goes well, quote unquote, we'll find out at the beginning of 2023. Woo! Everything's a monopoly. Have fun.
Is that all of our news?
Yep, that's everything.
Well, fantastic. A little bit of an announcement. This mainly targets our patrons. I have paused patron billing for the month of February. So patrons, you will not be billed for February. Billing should hopefully resume at the beginning of March. But I really wanted to take this time to pause and regroup with Rocky and Tegan and come up with more of a like developed timeline and structure for when we're going to get Patreon specific content to you. Because as it is right now, like if we're on this reduced publishing schedule for the main show, I want to make sure that like if and when Patreon billing does resume, that it's because the three of us have worked out a schedule for getting you patron specific episodes, which will not be republished to this feed. Like I know that there's stuff that I want to get to you, like the early days of EA and ZX Spectrum, and I've got a couple other ideas, but we need to figure out that cadence and figure out like when we can get these things to you, because as it is right now, like I do not want to take your money if we're not providing sufficient value. So stay tuned. We're going to take this time to figure out our production schedule for patron content. That said,
Brian, I think
Yeah?
we should also put up a survey to our patrons to see what kind of content they want specifically.
that sounds like a good idea, Tegan. I will do that.
Thanks! I'm full of good ideas.
Fantastic. All right. I think that's a show.
Yeah. Looks like.
A show!
It's called Impossible Coin. We are here twice a month, maybe 3 times if you're good. You can find us wherever podcasts are found on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and SoundCloud. On SoundCloud, the music that is at the beginning and end of this podcast... No, let me do that again. The music at the beginning and end of this podcast was produced by our friend Big Soch. He keeps his work on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/BigSochNJ. Give him a holler. Either there or on Twitter at Hillary_Swank. Our logo is also a t-shirt. It was designed by Lauren Moran. You can find it on Twitter at Lauren Moran. And consider donating to her Patreon. As Brian stated, we do have a Patreon as well. We are currently pausing billing in anticipation of identifying our new content schedule. Please stay tuned. You can find it at patreon.com/ImpossibleCoinPodcast. Again, we stream on Twitch. Tegan's on Tuesdays. I haven't been on Wednesdays, but I should be on Wednesdays. It's at twitch.tv/ImpossibleCoin. Tegan is making her way through Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I should be playing Tales of Arise. I might be playing other stuff. We'll talk about that in the future. You can find us on social media if you want to talk to us directly. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Brian's on Twitter. Tegan's on Tumblr. It's all Impossible Coin. No dashes, underscores, or X's, anything weird like that, but that's us. That's the show.
Yeah.
It's a good show, I think.
Peace.
Bye!
Later.